Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday stream. It is September 21st, 2021, in the year of our Lord, Anno Domini, etc., etc. And it is my great pleasure to welcome everybody to Erebor Adventures. It is day 27 of Adventures in Middle-earth, Erebor Adventures 2 Dungeons Deep. And I'm excited to continue with this awesome campaign with the amazing Anduinauts that I am waiting to introduce you all to. Before we get there, though, just a couple of reminders about ways to support us here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube channel with !ArvTube. Please sub to us over there if you can. It really does make a difference. We're trying to build that up so we can get 1,000 subscribers over on YouTube, which will give us a lot of added flexibility for stuff down the line. So any support you can give us there is much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please consider as well checking out our Twitter, which is !ArvTweets, where I'll always tweet when I'm going live. And hello to Axeman and Triffid and to Golden Drake and everybody. And if you haven't already done so, please consider checking out our Discord as well, which is free, of course, !Arvcord, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. That is always appreciated. And of course, our website for all of this is arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, !Arvshop is the merchandise area where you can get Adventures in Middle-earth stuff and Infinity and Beyond stuff, and soon to be Espergenesis stuff as well. So we got that going on. We have got !Arvtreon is the Patreon, which is where you always can support us, and that really does make a difference. It's kind of the financial backbone of the channel, and allows us to recommit and reinvest back into the channel with different overlays and videos and all that kind of good stuff. So that's always appreciated. Plus, you can get inspirations to help our tabletop players, and you can get other cool stuff for yourself individually and as on the channel. So that is always appreciated as well. I think Arcanus Bot is actually not in the channel for the moment, so we might want to just drop a quick note to Shadowed Mage. In fact, I'll do that just quickly. Once in a while this happens, so no big deal. Let's see. Seems to not be in the channel, question mark. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, cool. All right, I have notified one Mr. Shadowed Mage. And if you haven't already done so, please consider supporting us as well by subscribing to the channel, which allows you to get those custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff, and allows you to support the channel that way, and again have inspirations to help the players. On the publishing side, Icarus is my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts. Very excited about the future of that series. Library is Tales and Tomes in the Forbidden Library, which is my 5e adventure and source book. I have been very, very happy this morning to see pictures are starting to come in from people who are now receiving their books. They are receiving their physical books. They're actually getting them. They're posting pictures of them, and they're my favorite kinds of pictures to see. So I'm very excited to see that those are arriving in physical form to people. They're going to be available in the retail environment next month. But if you are a Kickstarter backer, they should be arriving. Please let us know as soon as you get them in, because they should be getting to you, as people have begun to post today that they have been. So I'm very, very happy about that. And of course, they're available in digital form already over on DriveThruRPG. And of course, Grayshade KS for details about my Grayshade Kickstarter, which is going to feature both Athos Arts and Alligator Rally Entertainment, and which is very exciting. And more details about that. I should hopefully have information about that for all of you lovely people coming very soon. As always, BLM, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. And Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when you need help, and to reach out to others when they need help as well. Now, quick note about schedule. What we've got going on right now is, of course, Adventures in Middle-earth with Erebor Adventures. That's what we got going on now. At 4 p.m. today, we will have Talisman Adventures over on GOG.com and Pen and Pixels. So we've got that going on at 4 o'clock Eastern. And then tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern, we have got the amazing... Well, but the thing is, though, Triffid, those are my favorite. Yes, those are my favorite personal pictures to see would be the book stuff. My favorite overall pictures obviously are of the family. Yes, that's unquestionably true. You're right. I was thinking about it in a professional side of things. The bot isn't in chat right now, Rudnell. There's no Arcanus bot. So I let Shadowed know, and hopefully we should be getting, once Shadowed sees it, I'm sure he'll be able to get it up and fired up again. Sometimes that happens. So yeah, and then tonight we've got the Arvocalis at 9 p.m. Eastern, so we will be back with some more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney shenanigans that is happening this evening. One last note about schedule, which is so this Friday, the rest of the week is going to be a little up in the air, the next 2 weeks actually. Friday, we believe we will have some Esper Genesis, but I have to confirm with a couple of people about whether the 24th is actually happening. In fact, I'm making a little note about one other person I need to contact about stuff. So that's going to be happening. So it should be Esper Genesis, but there is an off chance that it might not be, but the hope is that it will be. On Saturday, we were supposed to have Infinity and Beyond, but it looks like that is going to be canceled because I have an event going on Saturday. So it looks like that will not happen on Saturday, sadly. And then next week, Tuesday, we'll have more Adventures of Middle-earth. We will have D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh next week. We'll also have D&D, community D&D next Wednesday evening, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, and that sort of thing. But then the following weekend, which is the weekend of October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I'm going to be at Origins in Columbus, Ohio. I expect that there will be a stream from there, but I don't know exactly what it will be and how it's all going to look because I don't know yet exactly what the setup's going to be. So we're going to have to play that by ear. Once I get back from Origins, then everything should pretty much ease up and be sort of all regular and normal in October and November and much of December right up until we head off for Worldcon, which will be in mid-December in Washington, D.C. So that's the plan for schedule, just letting folks know that it'll be a little bit up in the air over the next couple of weeks, but then we will settle back down for October and November. And we've had a lot of stability on the channel in terms of things showing up when they're supposed to. Even if we've had a cancellation or rescheduling, we've been able to do that. So having things be up a little bit in the air at the moment because of the situation in the world and all that, I think is understandable. So that's the deal with that. And yes, Saladin Ahmed has joined the Esper crew, which is very exciting. And I was very happy to spring that surprise. Everyone's like, wait, what, really? And I was like, yeah. So that's the deal with that. Give me 1 second here. That's probably, this was, okay, good. Yes, that's all set. Good. So that is the deal with that. And that means it is now time for us to bring in the amazing crew. And so I'm going to unmute myself and apologize as always for interrupting whatever conversation that I'm sure was awesome that was going on in the channel. It's always an interesting one in the green room, let me tell you, people. And then I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to head on over to reveal the incredible crew, which is not, in fact, what you see there. Clearly what has happened is that the videos have been changed. And so Arv is just going to make sure that Amal is not the river and that Inga is not Bolo.
Amal is the river.
And that
I was about to say.
I mean, rather, sorry. Amal is the river, but that Terry is not the river, though. Terry
It can be.
Terry is Inga. Is that what you want to? Yes. So
It's the flow, my dudes.
give me just 1 second. I'll get this all fixed. Don't adjust your television sets. This is all completely.
This is what happens when I'm just looking at the Zoom session as opposed to the Twitch thing. And I'm like, what is happening? What are you doing to me? I don't understand. And now I see.
Now you see all.
It wouldn't have been a problem if Tali's camera didn't decide to
Right.
battery.
I have, by the way, Terry, I have a solution to that, which is, since I know you have this awesome new camera, and it's not just a webcam, right? It is an actual,
Yes.
legit camera. Is that correct?
Yes.
A dummy battery is what you need, because I'm using it as we speak in my camera right now, which is not a webcam either. I use a dummy battery, which can be charged, which can be plugged in indefinitely. So it's not a battery. It basically looks like a battery, but it is an actual AC adapter that plugs into the wall, and it provides power to your camera forever. And it is awesome.
Looks like a battery, but it's a dummy.
That is offensive to all actual batteries. Anyway, so now we've got the crew before us. Everyone is good. We're all set.
I didn't mean to assault your batteries.
Yeah, we're fine here. How are you? But it is good to see everyone. And I'm going to start, as always, with the gentleman who's on the top left of the Hollywood Squares layout here. And that, of course, is one Mr. Trending Sparks. Yeah, exactly. X marks the square, gets the square. All right. No one is going to get that except a very certain small subset of people, two of whom are in this chat along with me. But it is a great pleasure to have Trent with us. Trent, how are you? How's life in the universe with you? And who are you playing today?
Do you remember? Was the 21st night of September?
I do remember.
Okay.
Every night and day, actually.
Is the
It's Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. 7 in September.
Did the guy do it? What's his name?
Best freaking band. Best band. Partly because what other band do you know that could pull up like 15 members on stage and just be like, and they all look badass. They're just like, dude, as a trumpet player, can I tell you how much I wish I could pull off that every outfit the trumpet players ever wore? Man, it was like Chicago is the best. Anyway, yes. Happy Earth, Wind, and Fire Day, everyone, and first day of fall. So yes.
Is it God, who is it? There's a guy who keeps doing, like, for the last few years, he has actually done like a spontaneous, not very obviously very well planned, like, video on the 21st of September for the song and stuff.
Oh, really? I just saw Earth, Wind, and Fire being retweeted, so that's what I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I noticed.
But to answer your question, I'm doing good. Yeah, I think we've got Brad's character sheet more or less squared away. So
yes, thank you for that, Trent, for the hard work.
It wasn't really that difficult. But Brad, if you look at your bio tab, which sounds horribly body-lish. Anyway, you got your bios and character sheet, and you'll see that the piece. If you ever accidentally delete all your attacks, that's the piece of code that needs to go with it.
Oh, sure.
Hey,
so I'll just leave it there.
Trent, let me just jump in 1 second to say, Triffid has just gifted 5 more subs. Now, I recognize that this is September, but Triffid also did this previously. So you've now gifted 10 subs this month, which is crazy go nuts pants stuff, Triffid. Like, I'm very grateful. Thank you. It's really awesome. But I thank you. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm just, wow. So welcome Valerian Gamer, Chrono Travis, of course, Amal, Marinda, and Casual Joker. Welcome, everybody, to the Arvanauts. And thank you very much, Triffid, for doing that. Oh, you got some great news. Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, the biopsy was benign. All right, now I understand why that was going on. Yay. Oh, that's awesome, Triffid. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, okay. Well, then, hell yes, you should be gifting subs to everybody. No, I'm joking. That's seriously, I know, believe me, as you know, Triffid, having been directly exposed to the reality of what that is with my mother, I'm so glad to hear that. That's wonderful news. And celebrate good times. September 21st, good days. I'm so glad to hear that, Triffid. That's awesome. Okay. Now I can go back down to that. That's amazing.
We had different songs going on. You had that one. I had celebrate, dance
to music. Oh man, all kinds of good celebrate songs with that. That's awesome, Triffid. Congratulations. Sorry, Trent, on you go, and thank you for getting Arcanus Bot working shadowed. Now it's back.
Who am I playing? I am playing Thane Tonybear, the Hearthmender, dwarf friend. There, I did it all in one piece, and they just copy paste that in the intro of every video and I screwed it up.
Well, goddamn it!
So one day you will do it right from the get-go.
Clearly,
I believe in you.
This is why I edit my narrations, and I don't do them all in one shot. And just, by the way, I'm a voice actor and audiobook narrator, so there. But yeah, the guy that I was talking about, Thane Tonybear, he's a healer, not a berserker anymore. Close sometimes, but not. And yeah, he's surrounded by wolves.
And surrounded by wolves. Yes, I look forward to seeing, because we're starting. What is this? What would be Latin for combat? In medias.
Combatius.
That's clearly true. Yes, I'm sure that is not the case. Anyway, sometimes you could be a berserk healer, Drake. It's happened. But thank you, Trent. Always a pleasure. Also always a pleasure, of course, to have Brad with us. And Brad has returned. Brad was not here last time, but he is here today, and arrived on the scene to be like, so what did I miss? And you just hear like with like 60 million wolves. So it's been one of those kinds of sessions, Brad. So welcome back into the fold. I know you were doing that though, Brad, because you were busy on book stuff. So how goes things with releases and preparations and all that kind of good stuff from a writing point of view, and who are you playing today?
Yeah, I'm playing Bolabras Took, a treasure hunter, who is in the middle of a pack of wolves. Apparently, after I logged into Roll20, I saw, as I told Tran, about 300,000 wolves about to descend on us. So this will be interesting to see what happens.
Dream scenario for Tren.
It is true. I just pulled up the map just to show there are a lot of wolves. Like there, can we all just all appreciate that? There are a lot
Bola
of
can just run underneath them all and just
slide
them
every
all.
single one. Like
Right.
No.
you ain't
He just
Legolas,
gets on
my
a piece
friend.
of
All right?
bacon and wiggles us around and throws us.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
I'm reminded of Princess Mononoke with the boars with all the weird maggoty creatures all over them and stuff, cutting them open and having entrails.
Yeah, Mononoke weirded me out so much. I was like, oh,
good.
So freaky.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Everyone says it's like a gateway anime, and then I'm like, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Why would I?
This was like my favorite movie when I was like 10 or so. Okay,
3 years ago.
Explains a great deal, Terry.
Okay, listen, this is like a classic Christmas movie in Germany. Okay, and I'm not making. No. Like you guys watch Die Hard on Christmas, right? Like, but in Germany, when I was a kid, Princess Mononoke was on TV every year on Christmas. That and The Last Unicorn. So those are my two Christmas
movies. I'm with you on Last Unicorn for sure. Okay. But anyway, sorry.
I had forgotten how bloody that was in the beginning. Like I remembered it as adventurous and stuff, and sort of serious, but also colorful and exotic. From where I grew up and stuff. So I showed it to my son when he was at the time, like 9 or something like that. And in the beginning, I forget the characters' names, but the guy with the bow,
Ashitaka.
So he's got the bow and he's riding the deer thing, and I think he shoots like somebody's arm off in the beginning, and a head comes off pretty early on as well, and then when the boar shows up shortly after that, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should have waited a little bit. He got a little freaked out. But
Yakul, that's the antelope's name.
What is it?
Yakul.
Yeah, so I'm slowly digging myself out of my deadline. I won't call it hell. It's just it was a lot of work, and I'm still in the midst of it. I had two things that kind of like coincided. I had mentioned on the channel a few months back the Kickstarter for The King Must Fall, the Grimdark magazine anthology, and so that did fund actually quite a bit above its funding level when it finished, and so that was due. And so I was writing a novella set in the Shattered Sands universe, so I had to get that wrapped up. And then I have a book coming out in December as well. So those two things were just competing for my time a little bit, and so that's still ongoing. But it's I'm on the downward stretch finally. We're in copy edits for both of those things. So actually proofreading and copy edits for the novella. So yeah, things are going good, still busy, but I'm looking forward to getting maybe a month out from now where like everything is kind of done, and I can just coast for a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. It is a pleasure to have you back with us. And it's good. You'll have emerged. Okay, so writing is oh my God. So we'll see how that all works. But anyway, always a pleasure to have Brad, and also always a pleasure, of course, to have the amazing Terry Tunes with us. And who is, it must be noted, wearing antlers that have nothing to do with Sweet Tooth. We want to be clear that they are completely unrelated to that subject. And they are totally
based on my coat of arms, okay?
Yeah, based on your own coat of arms.
Before the show came out, okay?
They stole the entire concept.
Yes,
no.
of course.
How are you doing, Terry? Of legs?
Say again?
If there's a coat of arms, is there a coat of legs?
Yes, actually.
Oh, all right.
I have seen coats of arms with legs on them. So, I mean, the Isle of Man has 3 legs on them. So. And he's going to Google that one. No.
He just is going to sip calmly. He's like, I'm not going to Google that. Yes. It is good to see you, Terry. How is life in the universe with you? How are you doing? And who are you playing today?
I'm just so mad right now because just like while we were chatting before the stream officially started, Brad and I figured out that we were actually in the same place 2 years ago, but we didn't know each other yet.
Yeah.
Oh, really? When Brad is doing his incredible European tour, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we were both attending EFIA in 2019. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun trip.
So
And the actual site for Elfia was
yes. Oh my God,
Great.
I love that place. The Castle de Castile de Ha is the name of that location.
Oh man,
it is still in Utrecht.
It is still my dream to meet with a lot of my players that do campaigns and to play in an epic spot, sort of like that. You know, like we had planned. There was a off chance that we could have actually done something like this in New Zealand for Worldcon, and then the world collapsed. So, but anyway, someday we will make this happen. But anyway, yes. So,
well, I mean, we do have a billion castles here that you can just rent. So
you just rent a castle? Oh, okay.
You can also buy a castle, but nobody wants to own a castle because it's a fucking legal nightmare.
Oh.
But yeah, aside from that, we were talking about Elfia because I went to Elfia last Sunday, so that was fun. Dressed up as a druid, also with antlers. So that's fun. But yeah, like aside from that, I guess I should do a character introduction.
Yes.
I'm playing a dwarf. Her name is, or rather, her full title is Thane Inge Homefinder, daughter of Ida, Council of Dine II. That's how you do that, Tren.
Wow. The whole session. She's like, "Can you heal me?" Tawny's like, "I'm curiously not looking at you." Wow. Damn it.
Yeah, she is a wanderer and clan chief, and she has a pony sidekick. His name is Lilleman, and he is safe and sound away from where the wolves could ever get to him.
But for how long? Yes, that's quite true. Yes, I'm excited to have Terry with us as always. Also, one quick programming note. I know that we've been talking about this for a while, but Terry and I are going to be doing the Gamebook illustration streams again because Terry has a new awesome camera setup. So it's coming, and I know Effect Life, who's been very kind about it, has just been like, "Oh, someday." Like, I promise Effect Life. I don't think he's here right. Oh no, actually, Effect Life is, I think, in chat. Effect Life, I promise. It's coming. We're gonna get to see Arvbot uncloaked, as it were, unmasked. There is Effect Life, and yes, the new setup and everything is going to be awesome. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sorry about last week. Like, my wall came down with the camera, so I was like, and then I was just like busy fixing that and cleaning that for a while, and I was just so tired afterwards.
But it will be fixed. We'll get it back again.
Yeah.
But always a pleasure to have Terry with us, and also, of course, always a pleasure to have Amel with us, who is not at all tired. Everything's fine. No problems at all. Although I do want to say, I'm going to say that Amel's background continues to look more and more badass every time, just with like not just books and awards and pictures, but other pictures, and it all looks very It looks more and more pro, and as more, I assume, Nobel Prizes begin to appear and stuff, like the more awards we get, the cooler it will look. But
it's hilarious to me because it's a very sweet and polite way of saying it's getting more and more cluttered. Look at all the stacks.
I mean, it's not clutter if it's awesome stuff like that, though. Now, how are you, Amal? How's life with you, and who are you playing today?
We were chatting beforehand about how, like, oh yes, today's combat is going to be very sleepy combat. But I'm very sleepy. Yesterday was an amazing day that felt sort of like pre-pandemic levels of activity, and I think I'm definitely paying for it today, in addition to having had some very intense teaching sessions and stuff. So my throat's a little ragged, and I'm drinking, for once, a non-caffeinated beverage with like honey tea situation. It's very nice, but it's very soothing, and I'm very sleepy. But yesterday was really exciting because a friend of mine owns a dance studio nearby, and I have started taking dance classes.
Ooh.
And I went like this quite actively because
using jazz.
Yeah, I did jazz hands yesterday, and it turns out jazz hands, in addition to being hilarious, are hella fun, and also when you combine them with a cross step, are really cool looking. Like, they look super goofy, but in a cool way, and I'm very pleased, and I like I'm enjoying it very much. So I did that, but yesterday was like wake up early, teach a class, go vote, do a panel at Word on the Street at Toronto, teach another class, meet a friend for dinner, go dance class. And it was like, God, this is how I used to have days where I did a whole bunch of different things
Yeah.
in sequence, and it was normal. And this did not feel normal, but it felt great. But I'm very tired. So, other than that, though, yeah, is cool. Is fine. And yeah, I'm playing a character called the River, who is a woodsman of Rosgobel. Does not have a shiny title like others, which makes it much easier to remember. And she is accompanied by her faithful hound of Mirkwood named Stone. And River is a fighty bard. She has 2 axes and also a lovely singing voice, which I do not have right now. But anyway.
Well, it is a great pleasure to have everybody here, and I'm also going to mention very quickly, since I know Amal was excited about this also, which is that our mutual friend Carlos Hernandez announced that his book series Sal and Gabby has this Break the Universe and Fix the Universe has been optioned. Not just optioned, actually a series is in development at Disney with Ava Longoria as the executive producer. So that is no joke. And I am obviously a huge fan of Carlos, and Carlos plays with us in our Esper Genesis game. And like, that's big news. So I am super excited for him. So I did want to mention that because Amal and Carlos share agents and, you know, all that other kind of thing. So like, anyway.
I will say, I am so impressed at how both Carlos and Claire managed to keep that under wraps.
Right? Right? I was like, what?
We're very good friends, and they did not breathe a word of it.
Right.
Not a word. I did not know. I had to learn from the news.
Yep.
Like
exactly. I learned
else.
from Twitter. I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, exactly. So anyway, well deserved. I love that series anyway, and Carlos is good people. So anyway, wanted to congratulate him publicly about that. All right, with that said, let us get into the amazingness that we call battles against a million wolves. So let me explain a little bit what happened the last time. In our last session, actually, let's get some music up first of all. Specifically, some combat music. There we go. In our last session, the party has set off from Erebor and Dale, trying to track down the dwarven scholar Domi. And they've done this basically by attempting to follow his trail that he was supposed to take to. Let me move that huge dice roller, which is covering everybody, actually. Put that up there. So they made their way out of Erebor by following his tracks. And they went up to the northwest through the northern Dale lands. Everything went well initially, and then a couple of things happened in somewhat quick succession. The first was that they discovered a couple of dead bodies by a pool, and something about the nature of the way these bodies looked and the fact that they appeared to be grasping for water, and that had despite the fact that they were right next to some water, had, as it appeared, given up on living, was deeply problematic for the party, which was sort of thrown off by this, in particular Inga, who I believe gained some shadow point from that experience. And that sort of weighed on the party a little bit as they continued upwards until they heard the sound, and it was, I think, either the second or third night that they heard the sound of howling in the distance and saw a fire that had been lit in the wilderness. And so Inga made her way down, and I think it was along with Bolo, if I'm not mistaken. Inga and Bolo both went down to make their way there, and soon Inga saw that there were not, it was more than just fire, that it was actually a man who was holding a flaming branch and was up in a tree and had already dropped apparently one other flaming branch because a lot of the ground below seemed to be on fire. And the man looked exhausted, looked like he was about to fall from the tree. And according to the way Inga described it, partially from her own experience of having gone through the pool, she could not let this man just die. And so she sent Bolo back to get help while she basically charged into the fray, more or less, tried to distract the wolves. And the wolves successfully were distracted to her directly. Yes, and she blew the horn. That is correct. And it worked. It was very Boromir-esque. Let's hope that it doesn't end like it did for Boromir. We just got to this section, actually, of End of Fellowship, beginning of Two Towers in my
Oh my
Tolkien
god,
class.
even sent a hobbit
So-
running away to safety.
Right?
Ah,
I'm just
oh god.
run! Right. So anyway, Bolo tracing the steps of Merry and Pippin. No.
That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, so
Anticipating the steps.
Right.
she was surrounded by these wolves, and although she managed to ward off some of them, damage some of them, she was also hit by a bunch of them and actually went down and had to make a death saving throw. She did make one successfully, and then was brought up by her party, which one by one reappeared on the scene, so that eventually everybody got there. So as we begin here, we begin in Medius. What was it that she told me that Trident said?
Medius Bellalore.
Yeah, no, Bellalore. I like the crossover potential trend. What the heck? In Medius.
Media
There it
res.
is. In Medius Bellus. Yes. In
Bellus?
Medius Bellus or Bellus, which would
Media
be
Res is a completely different group.
in Medius Bellus, which would be in the middle of combat/war. And so in the middle of this combat is where we begin. We are at the top of the round, and everybody has arrived. The bad news is that the wolves get to go first. Now, I will say also that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wolves. 7, 8, 9. Let me make sure I have that counted right. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, right.
11,000.
One of these wolves.
I'm
Right.
trying
So
to remember if I used
11 wolves.
if I used Gleam of Terror or not. That some of them like were running away.
Yes, you did. And the two ones that you can see that are right here that have the, oh my God, I'm horrified, those are the ones who are actually running away from you.
Right.
So they are actually running, and not only they're running away from you, they're just running away, period. They are not out of the combat yet, but they are moving in that direction very quickly. And so that may mean some good things for the party down the road. We will see. But in any case, at the moment, it means that we are still dealing with a remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wolves still remain. And
Please note this fight is not to scale.
yes, no, definitely not.
We have become very large, but so have the wolves.
Growing to be that size, I don't know. I think that could be quite cool. Just knock them away with your staff.
You mean the wolf? Because I can definitely have that grow. Just
No,
but
I
okay,
meant
all right.
tiny.
All right.
No, this is a
Just wanted to be
dragon.
clear.
I don't like it. Don't do
So,
that.
all right, the wolves are going to get a chance to go next. Now, as I recall, there were, I believe that River, are you still prone? Because you were knocked to the ground at one point. I think you are still prone because I have
No,
a.
I think she got up. I think we had she was knocked prone. She got up, and yeah, I'm pretty sure she did get up. I think that was like a separate action from.
Okay.
That's what I remember. I don't know, Tony, you were shaking your head. I will also trust.
I
your
was,
memory.
but then as you described,
Yeah, I
more
think
of
you're
it,
right.
I remember because it's getting up used all of your movement, so you couldn't go anywhere.
Right, that's
I
right.
think I knew that was it,
So
yeah.
that's right. So as we look here, and Tawny had just done some healing. So I think, and I think the only one who does not have a bunch of wolves on him at the moment is Bolo, who is a little bit off to the side. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, for my own sanity's sake, I'm going to move the wolves into the proximity of the tokens that they're currently dealing with. So we've got, let's say, 3, I believe, on the river. We have got none on Bolo yet. We still have 4 of them on Inga. I don't think we have any of them on Tani yet. Because what Tani's been doing is trying to keep everyone alive. So
Yeah.
at the moment, he has not waded into the combat with the rest of them.
I just thought that River was closer to Inga than that.
Oh no, I may be. I'm not doing it on that basis. I'm just
okay,
assigning.
okay.
I'm just assigning like
Assigning it
where
up.
they are. Yeah, no,
Is
this
it-
is definitely not to scale. This is all theater of the mind stuff. So no, yeah, you are still close to Inga. I'm just placing who's with what.
And Stone and stuff, obviously, like, because I'm also trying to conjure this for myself. Please forgive me, my sleepy brain. But the because I had questions about like flanking with Stone about stuff, and wanted to make sure that like those positions were still being kept in mind.
Yes, although there are so many wolves still that the flanking is difficult because you're basically confronted with multiple creatures that are on top of you. So, but yes, the same position that you attempted to take. Here, I'll move Tani over here so that we can move them close to you like this. Okay. So yeah, that's still technically in play. So let me have these different people attack. All right, so we are going to have these wild wolves are going to attack. I'll start with the ones that are attacking our deer stone.
Not a deer, though.
His name is John Deer.
Important question. Are we underground?
Yes. Also, it turns out you're underground. God damn it. No, you're not.
Underground, under tree.
You are not. You are not.
We are, however, in darkness, right?
I'm sorry?
Well, there's a fire, a big one.
Yeah.
Okay, but we are in. The reason I ask about darkness is because, obviously, once an adventure, we can invoke the name of Elbereth.
That is
and
right.
gain inspiration.
That is true. Yep. That is true. And you actually begin, I believe, with each of you having an inspiration from River from your Flame of Hope, I think. Gleam of Hope, Flame of Hope, one of the hopes.
No, so I don't know.
Gleam of Terror and Flame of Hope.
It wasn't Gleam of
Yeah.
Terror.
Did I do both of them? I think I only did Gleam of Terror, right?
Yeah, but you did Flame of Hope, I think, the turn before.
Or did I do that?
I think.
Because...
I think
Oh, well,
Inga
somebody
Flame
did.
of
All I know is that somebody has... I'm pretty sure there are Flames of Hope.
Yeah. No, Inga did that because specifically to give the dude in the tree an inspiration.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We both have Flame of Hope, but Inga is the one who used it.
Well, I don't know
And
whether...
somebody inspired me. I know
Right.
that because
I
I
did.
still have inspiration. Yeah.
It was me.
Okay.
This was you.
Alrighty. So...
I kept trying to give you inspiration, and you kept not taking it and rolling too fast. That's what you were doing the whole time, and I was like, but I want to inspire you.
Exactly, Arinth. Exactly.
Running back behind you, going, let me inspire you.
We were talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire before, Arinth, actually. Okay, so here we go. The first, so we've got two wolves that are going to attack Stone. And this is going to be a 14 and a 12. 14 and 12.
I actually don't think those hit.
Okay.
No, neither of those hits. Hey.
However, I forgot they both have advantage because they have pack tactics. My fault. I have to roll those again.
Roll lower.
That is a 6. There you go. See? I'm rolling lower. 5 just for you, Trent. Then this one is 17.
17 hits.
Okay. So one of them does hit. Let's see.
Now Stone has radiance.
And that is going to be 10 points of damage to Stone as this thing bites into into Stone's shoulder. And I need Stone to make a strength saving throw for me, please, to keep from being knocked prone. Stone should know all about this, and Stone, that's like Stone's bread and butter. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he a medium creature? Is that or is it like actually?
Is Stone a medium creature? Yes. And this creature that is fighting him is a large creature, actually, a large beast.
Okay, so strength.
Strength, yes.
Is that just a straight strength roll?
Yeah, because I don't think he in this case that's fine. Yeah, because I don't think he has proficiency on strength saving throws. So that 6 unfortunately is not going to do it. So Stone is knocked to the ground, the wolf growling into his ear menacingly. Let's see. Prone. Okay. All right, now 3 that attack the river. Let's see, and they are also going to get advantage because they're all within. They're all within right next to each other. So we are looking at a 17 for the first one,
That hits.
a 22 for the second one.
Oh, you know what? That doesn't hit. No, it's obviously.
I was like, wait, what? And a 16 for the third one.
Yep, all of those hit.
Yee. All right, all
Fucking
hits.
Pack tactics.
Yep, pack tactics is not cool. I mean, it's cool for them.
It's cool when I get to use it with Stone, and that's not cool any other time.
Exactly. Okay, that is going to be a total of 18 points of damage done to you, River, as these creatures bite into you. So that brings us to, what did I say, 18? So that brings us to...
Are they clamped on her like barnacles at this point?
Yes, well, I was going to say she has to make a strength saving throw to see if they are. As they are. So you have to make a saving throw, River.
I was joking.
32. Now
I'm gonna clamp onto her.
Yes, as opposed to growling into the ear lovingly. Hey, Trevor, that could be kind of a... That's one thing as opposed to a or as opposed to a multiple different ways. And also, Grimlock, definitely, I'm glad you're here to see what D&D is like. Just to be clear, this is using 5e rules, but it's modified for Adventureman Alerts, so you will note some significant differences. That said, this is an amazing crew of players, so you are going to see some very good play. So, yes, River, I need you to make a saving throw for yourself, strength.
Is that... why am I asking this? Is that 1 saving throw or is that 3 saving
That is
throw?
going to be 3 saving throws. You are
Amazing.
correct.
Okay. Love to have 0 strength. Okay.
Yes, not the River's fortune.
It's not. I can't like dexterously not.
I don't fall. No, sadly, no.
I'm just gonna dexterously.
I'm going to
throw it.
finesse my way out of being overborne.
As a question before I do this, that is not actually do this, but more to do with how this works again. If one wants to dodge on one's turn, one has to declare that before.
Right. Right,
Okay.
because that takes up the whole turn doing that.
Cool. And
Dragonspear wants to know if you need an inspiration.
I will never say no to an inspiration. That would be really.
Unless you already have one.
Oh wait, I already have one. Don't wait, no. Do I?
I don't know. I'm just saying that if you already have one, then no, you would say no to that. At that point.
Yeah, you may not.
I don't know if I do. I don't have it marked.
You probably wouldn't anyway, because it would be it's like a regular inspiration that the chat gave you would have been used up, because it's the first time we're meeting this month. So
That's true. You know what? I will hold off on that inspiration because I do have to do this 3 times, and just one of it is gonna knock me over anyway. So I'll say hold on there, and I would super love one for a later movement if I survive.
I like the idea of chat, by the way, flying overhead with hang gliders, being like, "We could inspire you if you did help," like like on the backs of eagles.
So okay, strength saving throw, the first.
Nope. Well,
that saved me 2 rolls. So
Right,
that's
yeah.
great.
yeah, the other 2 are ready to go, and yes, so you are also prone. Sadly. Okay. Onto your bend the knee, as they all say in Celesta over and over again. Okay. I love that, Trent, but they do say it all the time.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, and now we get 4 attacks on Inga from these remaining wolves. Because my goodness. All right.
Wouldn't it be nice if the wolves were just like sated from all of the chunks of meat they have bitten out of us already?
Right,
and just,
exactly. They're like, thank you for the good meal, and in return, yes, that would be that would be nice. Okay, the first one is going to be a 20 to hit, not a natural, just a regular 20. Inga?
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, second one is again a 20.
Hits.
Third one is a 9. That's obviously got to be a miss. And the fourth one is a 16.
Nope.
Okay, so
2
2 hits. All right. 2 hits. That could have been worse. Okay.
I have 6 hit points. Just pointing that
Well,
out.
yes, yes, that's fair enough. Yeah, and that's going to be 13 points of damage, as unfortunately Inga goes back down again. Now, as I mentioned before, the good news is you already have a death saving throw that is a success, and it stays. So
Oh, it stays?
it stays. Oh yeah. So
I
does
did not know that.
only for the rest of the combat. Same thing for failures.
Yes.
If you had a failure, then that would also stay.
Interesting.
So yes. So all those the little things I removed, I'm like, oh, she's not unconscious anymore. Well, she's unconscious.
But
So-
I make my death save on my turn, right?
That's correct. So the wolves, feeling rather smug, are going to be done with their turn, howling terribly and menacingly growling at you as they pass by. Okay, and that's going to lead us to Inga, who gets an immediate chance to try this out. So here we have a saving
I'm gonna
throw.
use my inspiration for...
Logical. Yes, exactly, Aaron. She
Let's
had
see.
6 hit points, past tense.
Wait, just a regular d20? Or con
Yeah,
check?
just click the word death.
Yeah, exactly. It is a regular d20.
Yeah. That's...
19. All right, 2 successes. Oh, see, you should be dead more often. This works.
I think that one down.
So Okay, so Inga is not stable yet, but has 2 successes. So that's going to lead us to Bolo. So Bolo, situation on the ground is not great. You are, as of yet, unaffected. You are uninjured, and you are off to the side of the battle. But as it stands right now, guy up in the tree, barely holding on, holding a flaming branch. Bunch of flame on the ground here and there. The wolves, 3 wolves around River, 2 wolves around Stone, 4 wolves around Inga. Tani is standing next to you, looking maybe slightly troubled, and you are here. So what do you want to do? The wolves have paid no attention to you. They have no idea that you're here at the moment.
Yeah, okay. So I think I'm going to try to hit one of the wolves around Inga. There's too many on her. I'm fearful. So I'm going to try to do a sneak attack, but are any of them hurt?
There is one that is quite hurt, actually, yes. One of the ones that's on Inga is quite hurt.
Wait, didn't I miss like literally every attack I made against them? Wasn't that a thing?
I attacked that one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, there's one that exactly.
Was so
I was going to say
stupid.
River hit one that still was dealing with you, Inga, because River was swarmed by 3 wolves herself. So yes,
Like
one
my
of the
dice
ones
count.
that's on Inga is very hurt, Bolo.
Attempted to do. Do we know how tough these things are in general?
They are
player-wise, yes. Character-wise,
they are
I mean,
they are part of the
in
I will say that they are warg kind, but
are
they
they
are not
wargs?
wolfly. They are
They are
wargs, yeah. They're wargs.
okay.
They're wild wolves, which are wargs, but they are they're not wolf. There's sort of warg leaders, which are even larger. These are not the ones that, for example, goblins would necessarily ride on, or orcs.
Yeah.
But they are bigger than normal wolves, and so you've already there's been 1 or 2 that have been killed, and 2 that have been driven away out of fear because of the river's gleam of terror. So they're certainly not
Right.
immortal.
I should probably just go after the one that's hurt, and I'm debating on hitting another one just in case I could take that one out. I could take the other one out, but I'll take my sling and just try to hit that one.
Okay, that sounds good. And Effect Life, in answer to your question, she would have to actually be healed, not just stabilized. If she gets 3 successes, all that means is that she's not bleeding out, but it doesn't mean that she stands back up until she's actually healed by someone like, for example, Tani Bear, chief healer of all the healers. Okay, so Sling, go ahead and make your attack. Are you trying to aim for the hurt one, Bolo, or not?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
And can I sneak attack that one?
Oh yeah, they're paying attention to. They are not paying attention to you at all.
Okay. And then am I inspired by the song or whatever?
You
Oh wait,
You should be.
yeah, you should
I
have.
haven't done Songs of Slaying yet, right? So
Right.
I haven't even.
You haven't done that yet, yeah.
And does that give me advantage? Or?
You have no the inspiration that you got was not a. It was a bardic or the gleam of whatever. It's the flame of hope inspiration, right?
Flame of
Which
hope.
is not, I don't think, advantage. I think that's.
What does it do?
I think it
What?
gives you
No, that's
plus,
a regular
doesn't it?
inspiration.
Is it a regular inspiration? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then it's a regular inspiration.
I'm gonna go ahead and use it.
Okay,
Is it like something I use and then it's gone?
Yes.
that's right.
Yes.
All right, just to get
I'm
things
still
rolling.
inspired, Sling.
I'm gonna use it.
Wow. All right. 22 or 25.
I think 25, I think.
Yeah. All right, so
Nice.
17 damage. Yes, you obliterate that thing. The stone bullet is so well aimed that it just goes right into its skull. Just, you hear a terrible cracking sound. It falls to the ground, whimpering. Somewhere miles away, several wolf pups lower their heads in sadness. No, I'm just joking. Just joking. I'm kidding. These are. Listen, they're attacking stone. All right, these things. Come on. Okay,
Orcs
so
don't
success.
have puppies. They just like what is it called? Mitosis?
Yes, they
Like,
give birth
split
to
up?
shadow. That's what they do. It's just darkness and terror.
I've known many dogs named Shadow.
That's true. I actually knew a dog named Shadow. Anyway, okay, so you this wolf goes down. One of the wolves that is the 3 other wolves which are surrounding the currently not moving Inga all look at you, Bolo, and growl at you.
Hide! Hide now!
I will. Since that was just my attack, I will back up essentially. And
Yeah,
just
I figured
try
you
to
would.
try to find a bit of cover.
Okay. So, well, the current cover around you is mostly behind a large Bjorning. That's pretty close to you.
Good enough. That'll work.
Who was about to move. So,
Okay, right. I love that idea. You move behind him, and then Toddy, like,
And then
not paying any attention, moves away, and you like
runs
just,
away.
and he's like this. He's like, all right. Anyway,
Just
okay.
saying, you could climb on his back.
You could do that. Yes, become Master Blaster. We've all wanted.
just let him know you're doing it, because otherwise he's going to take his stab.
Battle
It's a
stack.
war.
Battle stack. Battle stack.
Oh man. Who is the master of Buttertown? All right. That's gonna lead us to the river, and Stone is on deck. So River, you are currently prone. So you've got 3 growling wolves that are right around you.
Are there rules around becoming unprone, or can I just stand up?
You can just stand up. That is going to use your movement to do it, though. But you can do that.
Okay. Can I do that?
Wait,
and-
that's just half your movement.
Nope, not in my games.
Every time.
Full
okay.
movement.
Sorry. Well, I missed what Tari said. But,
Terry's talking about the regular D&D rules. One of my house rules is it takes all movement to stand up.
Okay. So, but can I do that and attack?
Oh
Or
yeah,
can
yeah.
I-
Mm-hmm. Sure,
Okay.
because you still have your
Yeah.
attack action.
Cool. So, and are any of the wolves around me injured?
No, the wolves that are remaining are all fresh. Lovely and fresh.
Lovely and fresh. That's great. Well, okay. I think River is just going to, okay. So again, the way that the map is, I'm not sure that this works or not. Is she able to attack one of the ones attacking Stone without provoking an attack of opportunity, or is
She
like,
probably could because Stone's close enough to you to do that. Yes.
right. I'm not
I would say.
expecting a flank or
I was
anything.
gonna
It's
say,
more
yeah,
just,
that's
like,
right. Right.
It's more just in terms of trying to, draw the attack as
Yeah.
opposed to, right?
I think you can do
So-
that.
Okay, so what?
You can
no-
try. They may not be drawn, but you can try. They may
Right.
decide not to. Whatever.
So I just want you to picture in your mind's eyes that, like, River has just been, had 3 chunks of flesh ripped out of her by 3 separate wolves, but the one she's gonna go for is the one that hurt her dog.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so
That's what I'm
she
talking
is-
about.
Obviously, she is going to do, frankly, an amazing feat of acrobatics to me, in that she is prone. Well, actually, this is more of a supine situation. I'm going to assume she was knocked supine as opposed to prone, and she's going to do the thing where she kind of leaps up with her feet landing first and the rest of her body
Yeah, the
following.
Bruce Lee worm return
Yeah.
to center. Yeah,
I
no, of
believe
course.
that is called a kip up.
A kip.
Yeah.
Or,
Kip,
It
yeah, she's
always
gonna-
looks awesome. Always.
Kip is Dutch for chicken.
It's the chicken up.
it's a chicken up, yeah.
Does not look like a chicken while she is doing this awesome badass move.
All of a sudden, the
Thank you.
cool factor drops to 0. Just like,
And then she leaps in the air and like attacks with her feet too.
just
Sorry, thank you
and
for
she throws an
landing
egg.
a critical attack on my attempt at sounding really badass. This was great. Thank you. That was truly astonishing. Anyway,
Her
looking
boots
like
have
a
claws
goddamn
on them.
badass. River is going to
Oh! But
Are
in
you gonna
German,
make
it
me-
actually works because kippen, like to etwas kippen, means to like lean it over.
Are you
So you're
saying that?
basically leaning yourself upwards.
No, but you said the word kitten. So you're saying that she did
No,
a kitten
no,
chicken
kippen.
up. She did
No,
a
no,
kitten
kippen,
chicken up.
but-
Kip pen.
Never mind.
It's
German
fine.
grammar is
You
weird. I'm
ruined
not
it.
gonna-
It's fine. It's fine. Everyone watches and laughs as
He's
the
a chicken
up
there.
goes.
Ain't nobody calls me a chicken.
It's a bit like Kipper,
Right.
yes, Steve.
I'm
That's
leaving.
right, Marty.
No, all right.
Okay, bye.
Well, kill this wolf before you go, and then
All right, so anyway, River is going to leap to her feet, and just and she's going to with her axes in her hands, like extensions of her limbs, leap to her feet, and shout for Elbereth, and again clang her axes together, summoning this memory of light from dark places to them, and will attack the wolf that hurt Stone. So, having given herself inspiration, which is the thing that does, she is going to attack Kathunk. Oh, yes. Okay, so, haha, right? So, that 7 is actually a crit because of Runes of Victory, which she has. So,
Oh, yeah.
So yes.
So this is an example, chat, by the way. It's not always that you take the highest number. If you're in advantage, you take the number that you choose, whether it be higher or lower. So in this case, she wants the lower number because that's the crit, which triggers this other thing. So just keep in mind.
Yeah, so because River's axes, who are named now, because the dwarves inscribed them with Runes of Victory, her axes named Megor and Lamath cannot hit or fail. So she gets a +1 to saving throws and critical hits on 20 and 1.
Okay, good stuff. So then that means she's going to get max damage on that first hit.
Which is I can't remember what the thing is, but it's +6. So I'm just going to roll this as if. So I think it's a 6 + 6.
So 12.
Yeah, it's a
okay.
D6 + 6,
So that's a hell of a hit. And then the second one also hits.
And that is. Oh, I don't know if it did the. I'm just gonna go from the correct one anyway. And that'll be. Ooh, that's not as good. But that. Wait, what? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you probably got.
Okay, cool.
So you ended with.
Oh, it's +6 total. I see. It's like. No, I don't know. Whatever.
Well, +6 is to hit. So that second one is the slashing here. So you had 1 + 3, which is your damage bonus.
Gotcha.
So you have 4 damage. The second one does. Okay. So both of those axes, those attacks, the wolf is not dead. That was a solid blow. A lot of two big scores along its side, blood pouring out, and it sort of whips its head over to you.
Sorry. So the max damage on the first one is actually 9, not 12. Just FYI. It was.
Oh, it was 9, not 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, still hurt then. And he turns and turns its head slightly and kind of growls in your direction. We'll see whether that has any effect on who it chooses to attack. All right, you stood.
Oh, sorry, that was one attack.
Right.
Sorry, she attacks twice.
Yep.
On her turn, and so she's gonna do the same to that same wolf. The second time, I don't like. So this is her because of level 7 being able to attack twice in
level 8.
In one action. Sorry.
Level 8, not level 7.
Oh well, whichever one. She is in it. She has it. I forget. But I can't remember if the inspiration only applies to one
attack.
Okay.
Sorry.
So she's gonna go in for the attack a second time, and once again, kafunk, kafunk.
Okay.
I shall attack you a second time.
19 and a 21. Both of those will hit.
Okay.
Okay.
And that is an extra 12 damage.
Extra 12 damage. Okay, it is extremely hurt. It is not dead, but it is extremely hurt. And now I would say it's pretty definitive that it is going to be probably looking to deal with you if it even survives to get to its turn. All right, good stuff, River. River showed back up. It was a good thing that you gave out the cluck of justice when you sprung to your feet like this.
Time to chicken up.
Thank you. Yes.
And you can't move because you've already moved, so that's going to lead us to Stone, who is up next. And Stone is also prone at the moment, so Stone could rise again to his paws, if you wish.
Stone is going to rise again, and I think is going to attack the same one that River is
Logical,
on.
yeah, I figured.
This seems to me like it would be a flanking situation. Like, River is literally attacking.
Yeah, I would say so, because, yes, I would agree.
Okay, so Stone is going to get to his feet, growl, raise his hackles, see that River is attacking this one wolf, and is going to move in as he's been trained to tear a chunk out of its throat, and is going to bite down hard.
Natural.
And it's going to critically hit. So, yeah. Stone is just like, roar! All right. Max damage from Stone.
And Lorelei is here to represent the animal companion party.
Yes.
I can't remember what the formula is, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna roll it to see what the formula is.
That's a real life portrayal of what Stone is doing right now. Like that's
Yes.
just
Nom, 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 nom.
actual from the scene. Okay, so that
D6
means
plus 4. 4, so it should be 10.
So it should be 10. All right. Yes, that that utterly annihilates the wolf, and it goes down, howling and then gurgling as its throat is torn out.
Timber.
Yep.
Timberwolves!
Timberwolves.
Who started howl?
It's the same way whether they're in combat or they're in an NBA final. Hey-oh! Sorry, it's an anti-Timberwolves joke.
Hang on.
So, good stuff. All right, so Stone did his job. I assume Stone's going to stay there because there's not, I mean...
He also doesn't have move, right? Because he got up.
Well, that's right, yeah, because he got up. Yep, that's right. So, all right.
I think what will happen, the only move I can see happening is that they will instinctively put their backs to each other and face out.
I would assume.
So, yeah.
Okay, so that is going to lead us to one Mr. Tawny Bear, who is up next. There are considerably fewer wolves, and you note that the wolves that are left are kind of looking over their shoulders a little bit, not enough to, provoke anything, but they're... whether it's hard to tell whether a wolf is nervous, but they definitely look a little concerned at the number of wolves lying dead or vanished throughout the clearing. And is that what bobblehead is that?
Well, this is Skipper for the Stockton Ports.
Okay.
My little baseball team out in Central California that I did some mascot work for a while.
Okay.
So I got a Skipper bobblehead, but he's wearing a Timberwolves hat because
I understand that he, as a Celtics fan, that I have very little appeal to the animal love kingdom. If you like leprechauns, it's all about it, but otherwise. All right, so Tawny, see...
Crunch was my favorite mascot for a long time.
Yeah. No, I get it. So you can see that Inga is on the ground in big trouble. Everyone is hurt, but Inga's the obvious one, and so she's surrounded by wolves.
Just by the flesh wound.
Oh, all right then. In that case, you don't care. Tawny is going to since he's still kind of right there where he was, because didn't he heal her when he got here?
Yeah, he did.
You did!
Pretty much. Now you are going to be putting yourself in. The first time you did it, it didn't matter because other people were showing up. This time, the likelihood is that the other wolves, which are looking in your direction because Bolo's right behind you, could also, begin to attack you at, you become a target. You probably already know that, but I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But my priority at this point is to keep Inga from dying.
Quite obviously, yes.
So,
totally agree.
Yeah. I'm going to hit her with an improved healing.
Okay.
And we'll see how well she does. She gets 16 points.
16, and that starts from 0, remember, Inga. So that means you're at
Nice.
16. Hale and hearty. No, I'm just kidding. Not hale or hearty, but definitely not dying. Okay.
Listen, it's hit points, not health points.
Yes, exactly. That's the way to look at it.
And the only one that matters is the last one. And so after doing that, Tawny's kind of puff up as big as he can, which is considerable, and kind of brandish his staff, try to get the wolves focusing on him.
Wait. Can you actually help Inga up still on your turn? Because she is prone.
Not if he does that, he is going to get an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So,
Never mind.
So, and speaking of next turn, it is next turn. And the wolves promptly are going to do what was said. Now, these, first of all, the ones that are running away have now vanished. This is not actually into the woods because you're not right next to the woods. We're pretty zoomed in here. But they are far enough away that they're pretty much out of sight. So, for the moment, we're going to say that they're out of the combat. The other ones are going to attack. So, we have one wolf that's left on Stone. Let's take care of his, first of all. That is going to be, and he does not have pack tactics anymore because there's no wolves around him. So, and he critically misses. So that's bangs into the ground apparently. Okay, so he misses. Now the 3 that are on you, River, do, however, have pack tactics still. So we're looking at a 12 is the first one.
Nope.
We have a 21 as the second.
Yes.
Still at 12, it's just confused, so nope.
Exactly, and a 13 on the third.
No.
Okay, so only one hit this time.
Hey.
And
What does pack tactics give them?
It gives them advantage.
Okay.
So-
Because they're working together to attack.
So if there's 2 or more, or 3 or more?
it's actually all that has to be is one ally within 5 feet of the creature. and the ally is not incapacitated, obviously, and none of these are. All right, you are going to take 6 damage, River, from that one that bites
Most
you.
of them are dead. That
and
makes them pretty incapacitated.
That's true. And you are going to have to make a strength saving throw again as this thing
Right.
rams
I'm
into
glad that I remembered that I get +1 from Runes of Victory on this.
you. Quite right.
It didn't actually matter last time, but 18.
Right, plus the 1, right?
19.
So 19?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do manage to, this time, keep this thing. You throw it from you and look above it. I am above your element, foul thing. Okay, now, the good news is that Inga is not dead. The bad news is that there are 3 wolves that are surrounding her. Now, I think what
Wait,
they're
do
actually...
they know that Inga is
No,
like,
and that's what
away?
I was about to say. I think what they're probably going to do is they're going to go after Tawny, who I'm going to put right here, and thereby leaving Bolo completely exposed. Fortunately for you, Bolo, the 3 of them seem to be much more concerned with the big, I'm making myself look big, bear-like Bjorning right next to them. So the 3 of them are going to attack him.
It's not very nice of them.
It's true. It's true. All right. They also have pack tactics.
It would be nicer if they attacked the little hobbit.
Yes.
Well, I mean, 15 on the first one, Trent,
Yes.
Tony. Second one is a 18.
It's
And the
Wait.
third one... Yeah, wait a
right,
minute.
go ahead and tell me the third one.
And the third one is a 21.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll take them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that's 3 hits, which means... All right, let's see. So we're talking... Okay. That is 27 points of damage. And I'm going to need you to make 3 saving throws for me.
Strength.
Yes, strength saving throws. 27. So we're looking at 25, right? Hit points left? I think you were at
Sure.
52.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So they are, yes, 3 saving throws, please.
1. Fail.
All right, that's easy. We're ready for... okay.
Just like with River.
It really is just like, we're going to get this
really
over
does
with,
make
bro.
sense, It's like it's actually sort of less of an indignity if you just go down the first time instead of be like, no,
That's right.
no.
And actually, what I should have been doing, it struck me, is rather than rolling all the attacks, well, actually, no, it doesn't matter here. If you're prone, a melee attack gets advantage against you by default, but in this case, they were getting advantage anyway, so you can't double advantage, so it doesn't matter anyway. But I need to remember that for the future. Anyway, so you were
it's
now...
worse than that. It's worse than that, but yes.
What do you mean?
Because it's also a crit, I think.
I'd have to look at that again, maybe. Regardless. All right, so they do that.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yep.
I was like, I
Go
don't
on.
think that's right. That would make it even... I'd be like, hey,
yeah.
prone all the time. Okay. So let's see. Currently, at the moment, we have Tawny is prone, Inga is prone, River is standing, Stone is standing, and Bolo is standing. So just a quick note. Now that leads us, speaking of the wolves, that brings us to Inga. So you are prone, along with Tawny, who's also prone, and there's 3 wolves around you.
Before they end their turns, any of them within 5 feet of me?
Yeah, they're all within 5 feet of you.
Okay, cool. Then I use my reaction to stand up.
Oh, can you? Okay, cool. That works.
I
Yeah,
did
that's
ask
right.
you
This happened last time.
how
That's right.
we've been- Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Good stuff. Yeah. you
Okay,
can do
good.
that, sure.
So that's my reaction, which I immediately get back as my turn starts. So I'm not on my ass. Or belly, whatever. Okay, so they are currently attacking Tawny, right?
Yes.
Is either of them hurt yet?
No, none of these are hurt currently.
Yeah, the one
Okay.
that was hurt, Bolo took out.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then I am gonna hit one of them with me big ol' X.
Okay. I look forward
Summon
to that moment.
not summon, but call for Elbereth.
What exactly does that do again?
It gives you inspiration. You can
No,
use
just
it
me?
once. Yeah, each
Okay.
one of us can do that. We each have.
One
Sorry,
time.
I don't
Okay.
know if Bolo can because he wasn't there when we received.
Right.
Like, elf
That is right.
friendliness.
Oh.
So,
Okay, like Elbereth was the dude with the ship who took the silver and flew to the sky, right?
Oh,
am I confusing
Elbereth
something?
Gilfoniel, more fair than mortal tongue can tell. No, Elbereth is a lady.
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Gil-galad, I think.
Gil-galad was an elven king who did, yeah.
Of him
Yeah,
the
okay.
harpers sweetly sing, whose realm the
Then what did
last-
Elbereth do?
So you remember in Lord of the Rings, there's like that vial of light and stuff that.
Yeah, no, I know that, but like,
Yeah. So, who was
Elbereth isn't the bottle of
No, Elbereth
fancy
it's
water.
just like
never mind. I'll look it
Erendil.
up.
That was Erendil, the light
That
of
was
Erendil.
Erendil. Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, I do the thing. I call upon Elbereth.
I'll tell you, Elbereth is the Sindarin name of Varda of the Valar. So you're calling the Star Lady essentially.
I see.
Also known as Queen of the Stars, and
That's why I was thinking of stars. There.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No. I do that. Which gives me inspiration. Bloop, which I'm immediately gonna use for
You
my
might have
text.
called for it if you heard that like River was calling this as well and stuff and.
Well, I was knocked out then, so
You heard as a distant.
and in your dreams.
it was a dream.
Telling you guys.
Let's
Yes,
make that
okay.
attack.
Yes. Yeah, I needed that. Does 16 hit?
Yes, a 16 will hit.
Hallelujah.
10 would not have,
14 points of slashing damage.
14 slashing. All right.
Nice.
Big slash across its side. Definitely hurt it.
Huh! And second attack against the same one.
Oh!
Wait, no, I don't have advantage. Otherwise, it would be a crit.
Oh, but you do get a crit because you have runes of victory.
No, I don't have
No,
advantage.
because
I
she
have to
didn't get a
text first
she didn't
roll.
get a 1. She got a 6. Remember? Because she didn't. So,
I
yeah.
only get on the.
It was the not quite as
advantage on one
bad,
attack.
and therefore doesn't work out.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
All right, still, you got its attention. I'm not, and as far as moving, you don't have an option really to do much of that. I mean, you could back up 5 feet if you want, but like that's pretty much all you could do without attracting an attack of opportunity.
No, I'm just like thinking, do I have any cool bonus actions? I don't think I do. No, I don't think I can do anything with more bonus action. So I guess that's my turn.
All right, and that leads us to Bolo with the river on deck. All right, Bolo, there are fewer wolves than there were, and one of them has been hit. You were also exposed, but no wolf is paying attention to you at the moment, apparently.
Okay, so there's one on stone. I kind of want to free stone up so
Okay.
I can go help other people.
Okay.
So maybe I'll try to hit that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and that one's also damaged, right? That
No.
One... Oh no, we killed that one. Never mind.
Yeah, you already killed that one completely. This one's fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do the inspiration thing, and I used my other inspiration already, so that should just be
Just gonna
regular.
have to do that garden variety vanilla sling attack.
No.
Unless someone in the chat wants
Unless
to
someone in chat
inspire
inspires you, that's true.
Yeah.
You could do that. It's up to chat if they want to do that. For just a moment and see. There's a long
Well,
pause.
While we're looking for that for chat, Grimlock, the Kickstarter that I pointed out to you, if you go over to their Discord, you can talk to them, and they can. In fact, if you look at the Discord and you scroll down, there's a specific thing where they say if you give them a really good reason and you ask for the PDF, they can send it to you so that you can read the book. And if you want to create a wolf, like an anthro wolf character, you could do what I did with my other thing where I just took a tabaxi and kind of reworked it as a fox. I just basically repainted it, and it still has all the same functionality. So if you find a race that has skills and traits that you like, just reskin them as a wolf. And you can do that.
And so, yeah, you can see the list of who has inspirations. Actually, Amal and Tren both have a couple.
Yes, I know.
So that's true.
All right. So I'll go ahead and attack.
I'm saving mine for a much more dangerous situation.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I think I know.
Which
I'll-
we
I'll-
get into on the regular, more dangerous than a pack of wargs.
Okay.
Okay, so just 11.
11 is not
That
going
roll.
to hit, sadly. Goes whistling by the ear of the
Okay.
Rat.
creature. Stone leaps over the bullet dramatically. Okay, are you going to move anywhere? or are you going to stay where you are?
I will. Well, so there were some trees nearby, weren't there?
Well, there's sort of
A guy up in a tree?
not really. Yes, he is in a tree, but that was the reason it sort of stood out, is that it's kind of this one sad-looking lone tree by itself. Most of the trees are farther to the southwest. There's little bits of like possibly scrub brush around and stuff like that. It's maybe for you can like lie prone behind one of them and sort of not attract notice.
Well, I'll like hunker down behind one.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Okay.
Okay, so you
also have like a sort of slip into the shadows move or something like that. That is also for being unseen and sneaky.
Yeah, although then I would be seen again as soon as I attacked the next time.
Is it a kind of use once per situation, or is it something that you just can do?
Let me double check.
While you're doing that, I'm going to jump ahead to the river.
Okay.
And River, you are up.
Yeah, I think we're just going to there's artist.
It's at the start of an encounter.
It's the start of an encounter.
And you need to expend inspiration.
Okay, gotcha.
So
so River is she's again, like the one that is on stone there is a theater of the mind thing, right? Like, I mean,
that's right.
So she's just going to, like, having killed this one, she is going to attack another one, anticipating that Stone is going to go in for a flank once she has done hers.
Right, and you're not attacking the one that Stone's attacking, right? Because you said you were set back to back, as both of you. So
yeah, and then so because she's going first, though, she's gonna attack, nearest one. I'm imagining Stone is just gonna like move in for flank.
That's fine. We can. Well,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, she's not attacking the one that was attacking Stone. Is my point, because the one that was attacking Stone is on the other side of him, and you were all back to back.
But one has not yet attacked Stone, right? Did one right now?
Oh yeah, one attack. Yeah, absolutely.
What is Stone's damage at? Sorry, I missed that.
I don't think he hit. He missed. But he tried to attack Stone.
Oh, that's right. He did miss. Okay. Okay, fair.
Right. So just to finish my turn. So, I will do the cunning action thing to hide, whatever that allows me to do.
Okay. So you can do the bonus action so that you can hide. Yep, that's cool. Got it.
Okay. Then I'm done.
Awesome. So let me just look at this sheet again, because River might do something slightly different.
Yes, Aaron, I like that. That's a good inspiration. You can do it. Go team. It's a different kind of inspiration.
Yeah. Can you remind me, is Songs of Slaying a bonus action, or do I have to do that instead of attacking? I always forget because
I don't know. I doubt it's a bonus action, but it's possible. Let's see. No, that's the one that's just normal. Okay. So.
Oh, is the dude with the fire, like, wasn't the guy who we were saving, wasn't he also having actions? I only just remembered.
He is.
Yes, his action is do not fall from the tree.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still in the tree.
Yeah.
He is exhausted as hell. He has got nothing left in the tank.
Okay.
Yep.
I could not remember if he was still in the tree or not.
Grimlock, normally they're not allowed to be playable races, but you can play as a Dragonborn. Some DMs will let you play as a half dragon. It really depends on the DM who's running your table, but Dragonborn are a very common race in 5th edition, so you could look into those.
It's a bonus action, so yes, you can do this as a bonus action.
Phenomenal!
Yep,
Okay,
because it's Warden's Gift, so you can use a bonus action. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so River is going to expend one of her Warden's Gift dice to do Songs of Slaying, which is and a big part of this is because she gets that there's a pact. She's aware that they are beginning to kind of think of maybe falling back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So for the third time, she clangs her axes together in this ringing sound, and she lifts her voice with them into the like if a human voice could become like 100 knives slashing, that is what Songs of Slaying is like. It's this keening, high, sharp, terrifying sound, and she starts to sing this this awful, awesome martial music, essentially, that is one of like knives flashing in the dark, which consequently gives all of her allies within 30 feet, it gives them sorry. It gives them an additional d4 on their next attack roll. Alternatively, any creature that has one of those dice may roll it and add the number rolled to a weapon damage roll that they just made.
Okay.
So you all have a bonus d4 to use in one of those two ways. And in addition to doing that, she then, like, once she's clanged them together and begun her song, swing them down onto the nearest wolf.
I'm also going to say that will affect, it's not going to affect Bolo. Bolo has been, on purpose, from a little bit of a distance behind scrub brush and is definitely more than 30 feet from the combat. So it will affect Stone and Inga and Tani. Also, the song, I assume, goes something like, knives in September. No, I'm just kidding. All right,
That's
so...
Right. This is undercut my badassery day. That's what it is.
No,
totally
overcut.
fine.
We're talking about your
Yeah, and
Well, like, a very precise cut. Anyways, I'm going to go in with this attack. So, all right, so let's say 13 and a 23.
The 13 will miss, the 23 will hit.
Okay. 4 damage.
Pow.
Yes, so I'm going to and Stone is next.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So there's that bonus action. All right, you have one more attack, don't you?
Oh yeah, I do. Haha, I forgot. Thank you. Yes. So she goes in for the second one. Thunk. Thunk. That's a 8 and a 19.
Okay, one of those hits again, the 19.
It's a 6.
Okay, so that one has gotten hurt. Definitely not. It's hurt. It's not close to death, but is definitely been hit twice by you. Okay, you're staying where you are, I believe, based on what we described before. So that leaves us to Stone, as you said.
Yeah, and Stone is going to come in for a flank on the same one.
Okay.
He's always kind of taking the cue from River on this.
Yep.
So, so.
By the way, just so you know, in doing that, Stone closes so that the other wolf that closes into him will then once again have pack tactics advantage because it'll move within range of its own allies. So, you know, but like whatever, you're trying to get rid of a wolf. I'm just letting you know the lay of the land.
Gotcha. That makes sense to me, honestly, because they don't have experience countering pack tactics. They are moving together as a pack. So I think that it makes sense that they wouldn't optimize the situation. So Stone is gonna bite.
Chomp it.
Chomp down, and that's a 21.
21 will hit. This target, by the way, is a large creature, not medium. So it does not have to make the prone business with Stone. However, it still gets hurt. So
yes. And I'm going to add that d4 to this attack roll. So this is 6 plus 1d4. So it's 7.
7. Okay. All right. So that one is looking pretty hurt now. Not dead, but looking pretty hurt. Okay. Stone is there. We're going to move him in a little bit closer so we can see that. And that leads us to Tani. Tani, you got 3 wolves in your grill, and you are currently prone.
Well, I think I'll stand up.
You are no longer prone, but still have 3 wolves in your grill.
Right. Well, now my grill is much higher.
Yeah, it's a higher grill.
It's
Bring me a higher grill.
There you go. That's exactly.
Oh my god.
It's like just
think about it.
I know you do a tennis thing, so that was whatever it's called when you do whatever.
Yes, an overhead. You're like set up for the overhead. That's
Okay,
good.
sure. Yeah. So yeah, having stood it up, he is going to kind of do the bring your pretty face to me axe, but he doesn't have an axe because he has a staff.
Okay.
And so he is going to whack the living crap out of this wolf that is there in front of him.
Also, it's now you want to attack the one that Inga has already damaged, because there is one that Inga swung at. Okay, I figured, but bless you.
Yeah, so tight.
Thank you.
That's exactly what happens. Is Tawny swings away, sneezes, and
give away my position.
yeah, exactly. The
wolves, all their ears just pivot.
Yeah.
Montage all across Middle Earth. Every wolf. Like
22.
Nice.
22 will hit for sure.
And Schmeckense for 6 points.
Not bad.
Plus-
All right, that wolf that you
plus-
hit is starting to look.
Oh, right, the D4, because I got
Yeah.
the plus the D4
Oh yeah.
thingy. I'm gonna do +3, so 9.
So 9. Okay, that wolf is looking very hurt now.
And,
Extremely hurt.
Tawny will, upon clocking said wolf, will just sort of, with his staff in front of him, just sort of lean down towards him and just he's still bleeding a bit from the first hit, so the blood is like running through his teeth.
Charming.
He's like snarling at him. He's like, "Take your friends and run."
Yeah. And the warg, which is sort of a mixture of nerves and threat in the growl. And that brings us up to the top of the round. And they will go again. The wolves they are sort of moving around nervously, but are going to continue their attack for at least one more round. We'll see. Okay, the first one is going to try to attack Stone, as I said, this time with pack tactics because it is closer to the others. And we are looking at a 21 to hit for Stone.
What are Stone's hit points right now?
They are now 15 because he just took 7 more points. He had 22.
Right.
So
Amazing.
he's now at 15, and I'm going to have you make another one of those classic, everyone loves these, strength saving throws. All right, yeah. Stone, uses his strength, pushes back, paws digging into the earth, growls menacingly, good-sized dog against large-sized wolf.
Like, it's not size, it's how you use it.
Exactly. Nice bite. Okay. And then the 3 are going to continually attack the river. All still with pack tactics.
Carousel of attack.
That is, the first one is a 22.
That will hit.
Now, again, normally I would then say make the saving throw, but I'm not going to do that because they're going to be doing it at advantage anyway, so it doesn't matter. So 22. Second one is going to be a 19.
That also hits.
And the third one is 20, not a natural.
That will also hit.
So all hits, yeah. These guys do a lot of damage.
Just lots of, if they were a music group, just bangers all the way through, hit after hit after hit.
Yep.
Good.
Absolutely. That is going to be a total of 24 points of damage.
Oh, no.
As you take it on
I'm
the
at
chin,
2 hit
the
points.
shoulder, yeah. And now I need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Great. Wow, this is terrible.
It's only the last. It's only the last point that matters.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
This is
so,
also, by the way, for those watching in chat, this is now these are tough creatures, but they're not immortal creatures. But this is where numbers become an issue. Like if you were fighting a group of 12 wolves in the wild, it's hard to keep them all off of you. You just don't have the numbers. So
It's all just the pack tactics are like the big
Yep.
driving advantage
Yep.
here, right?
Yep. 100%.
It's, so here's my strength saving throw. That'll be a 12 plus 1.
So you're talking a 13? Yes, that will just make it.
Yes!
All right.
2 hit points, but still
You're just like
standing.
holding up against it. Okay.
He's got a really strong core.
Yeah, that's no, absolutely. This is where all the extra work has been worth it. Welcome to the Arvanaut Scrimlock. All right, and now we have 3. Now the question is, are they going to? I think they're going to continue. Well, Inga just did 1. Okay, so 2 of them are going to attack Tawny, and 1 is going to attack Inga. The one. Yes, 2 are going to attack Tawny, 1's going to attack Inga. So let's do the 2 that are on Tawny. All of these still pack tactics. So the 2 that are on Tawny, including the one that Tawny growled at, Let's see. We're looking at a 17
Hits.
and a 22.
Hits.
So that's...
Under these circumstances, I'm going to deny the hit of the 17.
Woohoo!
Okay. Remind me how you're able to do that.
My armor. If
Oh,
they hit within a count of 4.
Right. And you're able to do
I
this
can-
once per something?
Once.
Yeah. That's a good call by you. Okay, so instead you only take actually 9 points of damage total from that series of attacks. But I do need you to make a strength saving throw for me.
So that brings me to 16.
Yep.
16 hit points. 1 strength saving throw. Boop, boop. 21. Now,
Wow, you just double like Hulk Hogan them off you, and you do not fall. And now the one that is left on the one that is going to attack Inga is going to do so with pack tactics. That's not going to hit though. That's a 14. That does not hit you, right?
That does not hit. Haha.
Okay. It
I was
growls.
muted.
It growls sadly. Okay, Inga, it's your turn to show him how it's done. You now have one which is actually 2 of them are badly hurt around you.
I go for whichever looks the worst.
The worst hurt,
The worst hurt.
so to speak, the Worcestershire.
I would like to hurt
Yeah.
the worst hurt.
Exactly, Rude. No. Wolf attacks. Tani just stands there, calmly states no. Wolf does no damage or knockdown. It's like, I'm sorry. I apologize unreservedly. Okay.
So first attack doesn't hit.
Yeah, that's a miss. I'm sorry to say.
So like the one time I used my inspiration that I have, I didn't need it, and now that
It still wouldn't have helped you.
This is what happens if you have been down multiple times unconscious, though, and like that's how I'm seeing it narratively. These are all misses.
Don't do that.
Wait,
It
what
obviously
did I miss? What
Multiple
did I
misses.
miss?
You feel the air. Suddenly you feel a breeze, River, and you see it as the breeze of the whiffs from Inga's axe.
Oh no, what?
Inga, do you want to move anywhere? Just hang your head in shame? Like, what would you like to?
Oh my god. Oh no. These are all rules calculated to miss out on your axe's amazing powers.
I use my bonus action to let out the worst curse that Inga can conjure, and that's my turn.
I'll give you that a free action. That's a free action to curse that way.
At least 2 of the wolves are like, oh,
what? And they're like, oh, my goodness. One of the wolves puts his paws on the other wolf's ears.
Yeah, with their paws.
Okay, that's gonna bring us. That will bring us to Bolo and the Rivers on deck. Bolo, you have a couple of very badly hurt and a very angry cursing dwarf that you can see.
Okay, so seeing how bad off River is, Bolo's like charging towards that group of wolves and like making a lot of noise at this point. Like, get after
Okay.
me, you bastards! He is still going to use his sling, and he's still going to try to hit one that looks weak.
Okay.
You haven't used your D4 yet, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'm going to use it on my 2 hit.
Cool.
Sorry, give me 1 second here. Come up. Here we go. Okay.
What's up, Lifestone?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not going to help.
Also, high flying enemy.
But I was going to use it, so
yeah.
Can I choose after the roll, or
I have
You
to
can
double check.
decide. Yeah.
Can you
I can't remember.
Oh, sorry.
decide after the hit? I think you can decide after the roll, but before I tell you whether it's succeeded or not. I think is the way it works.
Exactly.
So you
Yeah,
can decide if
I
you want
will-
to use it there.
I will save it because that's a terrible roll.
Okay. All right. So you do yell loudly.
I
and
still
menacingly.
run at them and try to draw some off.
Yes, they look at you. One of the wolves kind of looks over its shoulder for a moment, then looks back at the maddened-eyed
It shrugs.
woodsman
Like,
and the
who
growling
cares?
dog covered in blood. Yeah, basically.
Is it possible? Is it possible to treat Bolo's intervention there as a distraction?
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Sorry, doesn't have.
The
It-
wolf
it-
basically looks back and goes,
I would have considered it if it had been a hit. But the thing missing completely. It's going to be way more concerned, River, about one that is literally watched destroy 2 of its comrades in front of it, plus the growling dog. So
that's fair. I was more seeing it because there is like literally a move called distraction that River has. Admittedly, this is maybe an argument against using it. But like River has an action that's like distraction at 6th level. You can use your sharp wit and knowledge of the terrain to distract, confuse, and otherwise sap the confidence and competence of others. When a creature that you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a damage roll, you can use your reaction to expend, this is in my case, one of your uses of Warden's Gift, rolling a gift die and subtracting the number rolled from the creature's roll. So I wasn't expecting something as elaborate as that. But
yeah, but that's specific to your class, though, River. That's not
exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Is like that just made me think that like running and shouting towards the wolves. I wasn't sure if it could like grant a momentary distraction that could like give River an edge as she was going to attack.
Not without mechanical reason to do it. The warden, remember, has specifically trained in being able to distract in particular ways. I might still have given something if, again, Bolo had connected with that, but otherwise, I mean, it looks impressive, as impressive as Bolo can get, don't get me wrong, but no.
Or possibly if he was close enough to physically interpose himself.
Yeah, exactly, but from a distance, just a halfling running in the dark, yelling and swinging a sling over his head is sadly not gonna get it done. Okay, that's gonna bring us to, so that was Bolo. That's gonna lead us to
the aforementioned
the river. Yes.
Yes.
So River, you've got 3 on you, and there is still 1 attacking stone, but you have 3 on you.
And the one which is the one that we were attacking, as far as you were concerned, because like there's one that is wounded by us.
Right. This one, I think. I mean, doesn't matter, but yeah, there's one that you were attacking that looks pretty hurt.
I just wanted to.
That's pretty hurt. I mean, this one up here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So we're gonna keep on attacking that one.
Wild Eye Hobbit charge sounds adorable, like a baby penguin sneezing.
Aww.
You should feel glad that Brad was not in his chair to hear that.
Yeah, exactly.
So River's gonna go in with her axes again on the more injured wolf and just kind of go ah.
Okay.
And again.
I said die.
So that is a 9 and an 18.
18 will hit, 9 will not.
That is 9, and she's gonna go in with her second attack.
Okay.
And that is a 25 and an 11.
And a 25 will hit.
Another 9.
Yep,
So
and you kill it. Your axe goes into its side. And so now you definitely note the wolves are looking very nervous, and they start to kind of, they haven't turned tail and run, but they are kind of slinking away, starting to like move back a little bit with their ears put back. The numbers are not looking as good for them as they hoped.
Those were the attack actions.
Right.
Can River, can she try an intimidation check?
No, intimidate is the same thing as an attack action. The only thing you have left is a move action if you want.
Okay.
So. I mean, you can certainly use your free action to be like, that's right, you mangy curs, get out of here or something. You could definitely do that.
With her attack action, can she move into position to flank Stone's wolf?
Can she move into... No, because the Stone's wolf is on the opposite side of Stone, and you had 3 in the way. I also don't think you need to do it. If you just move... If you can slide slightly into position where you might be able to, if the combat's still going on, next turn maybe get around behind him. But you were on the opposite side from where the wolf is on the opposite side of Stone from where you are. So
is she able to move out of reach of the wolves who are attacking her?
You could back up 5 feet from them and do so safely. You could also, or you could just do a regular move. Maybe the fact that they're slinking away means they're not going to take attacks opportunity on you. That's possible.
Okay.
One other tactic that you might consider is that now that you've killed that wolf, it cannot do an attack of opportunity if on Stone, if Stone moves around the wolf he's facing off against, which would put that wolf between you and him.
Right, for next turn. But Stone could try to do that this turn, could try to shift around.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I think that makes sense for Stone. I think it also, I mean, I think River is gonna, she's got 2 hit points. I think she's gonna try and, you know, move out of reach of the wolves who are attacking and stuff, and just
Okay, so you
if they are slinking away, she's like gonna like staring them down, like, you know, back up towards where Stone is and stuff.
Yep.
While Stone's attacking, and and try to start like positioning herself advantageously for Stone.
Okay, so you can do that, and now Stone can proceed to his turn.
Stone's gonna attack that wolf.
Attack that wolf.
And he's gonna crit.
That would be a 15.
Not crit, but he will hit.
Hooray! Takes a chunk out. That's 8 damage.
All right. The wolf does not like it. It howls in pain. Okay, and that's going to lead us to Tani. Tani, you can see that the 3 wolves around that are dealing with you, the wolves in front of you were also starting to, now again, they're not turning and like exposing themselves to you, but they're definitely like starting to back off a little bit, growling. They look quite nervous about the circumstances.
Bunch of wolves that are cowed.
Yes, they are cowed wolves. Cow wolves, if you will. And they are moved to.
So
they should move away.
See, Mel milks
Probably
this joke,
should.
and
But you know,
so cheesy.
So
Yes.
Utterly ridiculous.
Dare he
response.
do some more? Yes, he does. Okay.
So I'm wondering if I pour a bunch of tortilla chips into a bowl and then pour salsa over the top of it, can I just eat it like cereal? Anyway,
I'm here to answer all questions I can. Sure, why not?
Not that I tried it. I'm just saying.
Triffid has a beef with this joke. That's yes.
I feel like you need to make a saving throw against heartburn if that's a thing, but like
Yeah,
True.
It's mild salsa. I eat really spicy food. It doesn't matter. However, Tawny, well, seeing this behavior from the wolves, and he's just he was already sort of leaning in, and he just looks at that one wolf, just focusing on him. He's like, "No, you had your chance," and he's just gonna
Smash it.
Should have run when you had the
Shoulda
chance.
run. I told you to run away.
I really hope I hit, because if I don't, this is just fucking stupid. I don't. So.
Yep. Sadly, that is not going to get the job done. So you sort of it kind of darts out of the way, yelping. You're staying where you are, Tani?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the turn in question, the wolves basically howling. One lifts his head and howls, and the wargs turn and bolt away. Now, if you wish, you can either let them go, or you can get an attack of opportunity, and this will apply to Stone. Will be able to attack his. The River could attack one of hers, not both. Inga could attack one of the 3, and Tani can attack one of the 3. Bolo, you're too far away, so this isn't a melee type of thing situation. So, so you can get those, or you can let them run. It's up to you. But they're all turning tail and running. So Tani's not going to.
No, they had their chance. No.
Oh, so he is going to.
I mean, they had their chance to run. They didn't take it. He's going to absolutely try to kill this wolf.
Oh, okay. All right. So go ahead and take your attack opportunity.
They would never give us the same.
Oh, it's quite right. Absolutely.
No, he's going to clock that little son of a bitch. Okay.
That's a very literal statement of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. 19.
That definitely hits.
3 points.
Guess what? That was the really hurt one. So you, as it turns like smack, and it just collapses to the ground and dies. All right. And then Inga, do you want to take a shot at one of these?
Yes, please, God.
All right. Go ahead. So you can do that. Yours, the ones that are left are fresh, but because Tani just took out the one you had been hurting.
Just crit.
Yeah, just crit it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Okay, let's go.
Well, you didn't crit it, but because it is an attack of opportunity, you will be able to get the 14. So that is going to hit.
Oh, I didn't
Just.
realize attacks of opportunity were an advantage.
So you are able to do that. Yeah, because it's turning its back to you.
Huh.
I think Arthur's just bending the rules a little to throw us a bone.
Oh, to throw you a bone.
Yeah.
After taking chunks out of our limbs.
Outstanding. You speak
After
the
my
tooth.
terrible.
You speak the tooth.
Much dad energy in the chat. Not in the chat today.
Telling a tale of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you rolling damage?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll damage for that. Inga.
I hit the thing. Cool, 9 points of
Okay.
slashing.
All right. So you don't kill it, but you definitely take
Cut
a
its
big
tail
chunk
off
and it's
as
like
it's running.
"Wow!" as it yelps and books it, as does the other one. You can't. Again, as I said, you can only get an attack on one. So the other one books it. River, are you and or Stone going to take? You can one of your two. River, you can take an attack of opportunity against if you wish, and Stone can take an attack on his. Okay.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Like River is also like at 2 points and exhausted and stuff.
Right.
And I could imagine that maybe she wouldn't. But Stone definitely will.
Okay.
So.
You hurt my mommy.
Yeah.
So Stone is going to towards the one running away from him, and that will be a 22.
22. Oh, happy birthday, Aaron. Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Birthday.
Okay. All
Seven
right. 7 points of damage. Okay. It does not like that. It is not going to fall, but it is. You've definitely hit it as it books away. The other one again books away because you can't attack both of them. So Stone. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. That was Stone, right? Was doing
Yeah,
that.
that was Stone.
Yeah, my fault. So.
And I think I don't know. I think River will half-heartedly do one to the same one.
Okay.
And like, since she was setting up to try and hit that one anyway.
Yeah. Like.
So
Yep. Have you considered turning the wolves against each other using a web of seduction and deceit? Well, listen.
One of Tawny's
That's a-
abilities is called Webs of Deceit, so maybe.
That's true.
so
Yes,
that's a
those will hit.
crit.
Yep.
The 7 there is a crit, so that is 9. And the 15 on the other one.
Yes, hit.
And that will be 8.
Okay.
So total of 17.
17. Okay. It somehow it is somehow alive barely, and it kind of stumbles off into the darkness yelping. And in fact, you hear yelping and howling as these creatures run away, and then there is an eerie silence.
Except for the sound of fire.
I was just going to say, except for the sound of fire. And there is a groaning sound that you all hear. And as you all kind of wearily turn in the direction of the tree, you see the man who is holding onto the tree basically slide down and then sort of collapse onto the ground from the branch. So he kind of basically hits the ground and then sort of rolls over. And he looks up and he says, "Thank you. Anyone have a pipe? A pipe?" And then he just goes unconscious. He seems, you can see even from the distance, Tawny, that he is bleeding profusely from a wound in his leg. And he is quite obviously hurt and is currently unconscious.
Walk it off.
Wait, what about the fire?
And the fire is burning all around you. The fire is not utterly out of control. It's partially because there's not a whole lot of extra stuff to burn. But it is there. It is still burning in patches here and there. So, I mean, it's lighting things up, but he doesn't land on the fire, fortunately for him.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we storm off to him.
Okay.
Well, storm. I mean, trudge. Shuffle.
Limp.
Limp, basically.
Shimmy.
Hobble.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he definitely looks quite, even in his unconscious state, you can see he's quite hurt.
Before we look at this guy, actually, River is going to look around for Bolo and say, "Bolo," not having, because he was running towards them,
right?
But then,
Yeah.
and she's gonna stop and just to imagine River literally covered in her blood, Stone's blood, and wolf blood, looking with her 2 hit points, looking down at Bolo with extreme concern and just putting her hands on his shoulders and going, "Are you okay?"
This is me laughing, not Bolo laughing.
Bolo's like, I'm fine.
Bolo's like, are you okay? Sit down. Let's take care of these wounds.
River just sort of is gonna instinctively like hug him a little bit and get blood all over him, and just go anyway, and then we'll like start to turn towards the approaching party, I guess, because I imagine like Bolo's closer to her, and then everyone.
Yeah.
Else. And she'll do the same, like, as Inga approaches, she'll just kind of, like, look her over and exhale and not say anything about charging into danger yet or anything, but, and then we'll just kind of approach this guy.
Okay. All right. I have put him now on the map, but I'm actually going to switch us back over, I think, to the cams only overlay. And by the way, welcome everybody who's watching day 27 of Adventures of Middle-earth Erebor Adventures to Dungeons Deep with the amazing Trendane Sparks, Terry Toons, Brad Bollier, and Amal Elmatar. If you are enjoying what you're seeing and hearing, please make sure to follow and support the channel, and also please make sure to follow and support all of these lovely people who play this amazing and awesome game so well. All right, so you approach him, and yes, he looks, Tani, I assume you're at his side at this point. He definitely looks hurt. You're going to have to heal him and not just stabilize him. This wound in particular looks nasty. It looks to you as if this cut, it looks as if that, you know, he was obviously attacked by these wolves, so it isn't like a wound that's been there very long, but it's deep. In fact, you think you might even see the slight telltale white of bone below.
Well, how fortunate then that he has a fantastic healer.
That's quite right.
Right here. So, as you know, Tawny would in this particular set of circumstances, because just his regular brand of healing is not going to suffice for pretty much any of us, except Bolo, of course, who's pretty much okay, I think. Tawny is going to spend the 10 minutes necessary to do his master healer improved healing, which for those of you who are listening at home, watching at home, wherever you are watching, honestly, I don't care, is his normal healing of 2d8 times his proficiency modifier, which is 3. It's 2d8 times 3 plus his wisdom modifier, which is 5. So this is going to be significant.
Hey, can we get some of that action too?
Yeah, I just said it's just 10 minutes for each of you.
Excellent.
But this guy, if I start healing the rest of you first, he probably won't last the 20
That's
or 30
fair.
minutes.
No, totally.
Start with him.
Yeah.
So we take this.
This image of the river jumping in front of your hands as you're about to heal.
Hey, River is extremely unconcerned about her own well-being. I
know.
Concerned for her. But,
no, I know. Sorry.
So that would be 8 points times 3 is something.
That'll be 24.
Thank you. Plus 5.
29.
Okay, so he heals 29 points.
Okay, that's pretty good. And that's on the.
Plus how much?
Well, this is on him, so don't worry about it for you. This is on the guy who's currently dead, or currently dying. And yes, you do so in your practice way. And those of you watching Inga and Bolo in the river are, again, almost in awe at the level of skill with which Tawny is able to do this. Just like, poultice this and cut that and, do the other and like tie across. It does look like you'll be able.
It's not soy milk. It's milk of the poppy. Just drink it. Shut up.
Yeah. You'll be able to, it does look like you'll be able to save the guy's leg, although he's going to have a limp for a bit. But you do think you'll be able to do that. And he kind of, his eyes blink open and he kind of looks around at all of you. He says, well, that wasn't it for me after all. I thought it would be. I can't tell you how grateful I am. And he sees you, Tawny, and he's like, my leg doesn't feel as bad as it did. Are you responsible for that, sir?
Yes, very much so.
Oh, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to all of you. My name's Clifford Sedger. I'm from Bree. And I wouldn't be talking to anyone if it wasn't for you, so thank you. What about the wolves, then?
Well, they went that way, that way, that way, that way.
Yeah,
that way.
all scattered.
It's scattered. River is going to introduce the party and say, this is.
And while she's doing so, Tawny's like, sit.
Yeah.
Because he's laying stuff out for River to sit down.
I'm doing my job. River is like dutifully, submitting to some ministrations. But also we'll just introduce them without their titles. Just say like, this is Tawny and Inge and Bolo, and I'm called the River. This is Stone. What brings you to be here in the woods on your own?
And he says, "Oh, that's a tale, miss, for sure. I was accompanying a dwarf lord from the Blue Mountains. I was traveling to Dale. There was a retinue of 6 other dwarves with me, and it was my job to take care of the ponies. As you see, the dwarves had gotten a bunch of them in Bree, and, well, I don't much like, frankly, some of those who sell ponies to those in Bree. They're not the nicest sort. There's one man named, well, Archibald Fernie, and he's not a good type. So I'm, well, one of the good ones, at least I try to be. They had a bunch of ponies that they were taking care of, and they asked if I'd be able to go along and look after them. So I said yes, and at least for a long part of the way it seemed okay. But that all changed a couple nights ago. And he kind of leans back, he says, I don't suppose any one of you might have a pipe. It's been a powerful long time since I've had any tobacco at all, and, well, given what we've all been through, I could do with a smoke. I'm much more grateful for my life than the smoke, don't get me wrong. I just thought I'd ask.
Sure. And
River just kind of looks towards Bolo, perhaps stereotypically.
Yeah, I know. I would probably have a pipe or two in my pack.
And as he takes it from you, Bolo, he looks at you and he says, if you don't mind my saying, Master Bolo, you look like you might be from a place not that far from me. Are you from the Shire by chance?
I am.
Have you ever been to Bree?
I'm sure I would have.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes,
You would have at some point. And he says, well, if you go at some point to the Prancing Pony, the innkeeper there's a friend of mine, and if you let him know, I'm sure he'd be happy to give you a mug or two. Thank you kindly for the pipe. And
Very welcome.
this guy, by the way, I should say,
In good health.
he looks kind of like grizzled, but he doesn't look ancient. He looks, maybe he's in his 50s, something like that. He's got a little bit of gray in his beard and so on. You can see that his face and hands look kind of weathered and sunburnt, as if he spent a fair bit of time outside in the sun, doing manual labor of some kind or another. So he takes a couple of puffs and he says, much better. So as I said, a couple of days ago, armed men ambushed our caravan, actually just before sundown. And when the attack started, I was wounded. This thing that you've just fixed, Master Healer, and he looks at you, Tawny, although I know, Tawny, you're now focused on other people, but he says, this wound of yours, I said it felt better. When the wolf attacked, it bit into the same leg that an arrow hit me on. I've been walking around on this for a while, and now you understand why the wound looked that bad, Tawny, because normally, a wolf bite will be deep for sure, but this looked like pretty messed up, and now you know why. Which is a little troubling because it indicates that the wolf actually knew exactly what spot to aim for. Like it was like going for the weak spot in his leg to begin with. So Cliff says, this arrow, although it's been in my leg and bothering me for the last 2 days, it probably saved me because I was left for dead. When I recovered my senses and looked around, there were 3 dead dwarves around me, and 3 still missing, and all of the horses were gone. Well, at that point, I figured that there wasn't much for me to do, except to try to gather things together and see if I could make towards civilization. But that very night, I heard howling, and then, well, you know the rest. I managed to just get up the tree and protect myself, try to hit those beasts with a flaming brand, but it wasn't going to do much good. And if you hadn't gotten to me, and then he looks around and he sees you, Inga, and he says, And you, well, if you hadn't charged in that way, well, the last wolf would have gotten up to me. They were jumping up and almost got me as it was. And that would have been the end, so I'm grateful to all of you. All of you saved me.
Well, all that matters is that you are safe. So,
You're more than welcome to travel with us as we continue. As it happens... Wait, how secret is our mission? Is our mission secret? I mean, we're still clearly looking for the retinue of this guy.
Right, I mean, I was going to say.
Yeah.
we're not told to be secretive about this.
Yeah,
are we?
I mean, also, if he's from Bree, because he clearly does not recognize any of you. Bolo was just kind of a, hey, are you from the Shire because you're a halfling? And this guy is clearly not from Dale, so it makes sense that he wouldn't necessarily know of you specifically, because he's from even, west of the Misty Mountains, so.
So River is going to say, we're very glad we could help. This is also very troubling because we are traveling here in search of a dwarf from the Blue Hills who was long expected in Dale and who never arrived. And it seems
that
like...
must be the same one, miss. His name was Domi. That was the one I was traveling with. Is that who you were looking for?
It was, yes.
Ah.
It is, still.
Well, I can tell you that they meant business with him, that's for sure. These ones were men, and they were well armed and ruthless. But not all of them. One of them was a small, squint-eyed creature. Could have been a goblin, perhaps. I couldn't see him well because he was covered in a hood. But it was him, that cursed thing, that shot me through the leg. Anyway, when they fell upon us, the dwarves I was with, they knew their business too. But these men, they must have planned it for a while. They struck without warning out of the shadows, and the next thing you know, here we are. But Domi wasn't one of the dwarves I found. Of dead bodies, they must have taken him along with 2 others, and all the horses if they haven't killed them by now. But listen, if you want to follow them, I can help. I know the way that they came from. I can help guide you through this place. My leg's a little bum, but I'll work it out. Maybe if I can just make a crutch or something, I'll do it. I've had worse before, and I want to bring my own curses home to them. Plus, I owe it to you. Now that I've got a pipe, well, I'll take any wolves that want to come back at me. And he says that a little loudly, and he's like, he sees stone, and then he's like, well, anyway, maybe not wolves quite yet, but those men, I'll deal for them.
We'd be very, very grateful for any guidance you can give us, and I'm sure that we can ease your journeying with us. River stops short of volunteering Lillimon, but she does say, we have a pony of our own as it happens, and I'm sure that having some extra care for Lillimon would be very good as well.
How tall and heavy does this guy look?
He's an average height, maybe 5'7", 5'8", something like that.
He's probably a bit too big for.
Well,
he's lost 4 kilos.
I was just gonna say.
I was
gonna say he also doesn't look. I mean, he doesn't look emaciated, but he definitely, this guy does not look particularly well fed. You get the impression, he looks like someone who's been on the road for quite a long time. He's more wiry, so maybe.
Sure.
Quick.
That's 26 points back to the river and 41 points back to Inge.
Dang. All right. So
nice.
So 28 out of 60 for the river then. And how many did you say for
41.
Wow.
Damn.
All right, that is 57 then for Inga.
Nice.
Did you also do stone?
Yeah, but I can.
The other thing is, River actually, this totally makes sense for this moment. If they're going to have a short rest, she would also use Staunching Song of the Woodman.
I'm assuming that you have a long rest here because you're at night. You were setting up for a long rest anyway. So if you want, you could definitely.
Wait, we can't have a long rest here?
Well, yeah, I thought we could only have long rests at sanctuaries.
Oh, that's right. Let me think about that.
Well, the thing is, Inga
has
has an ability that lets her find a safe space to rest once per journey.
Yes, that's correct. I'm looking. Yes, that's right. So yes, you could do a short rest if you want to do that, Inga. You could do what you just said if you want. But of course you have a long journey left to go. But you could do that.
Yeah, we literally just started this, so I think I would like to save up on the long rest and just do a short rest.
Yeah, so
unless
then,
we are like really short on resources.
So then
right
short
now.
rest would be the way to
Short
go.
rest. So
I'm also gonna roll a hit die.
But wait, the way that Staunching Song works, please don't roll things before I explain the thing that I want to do to make it better.
I did not roll anything.
So Staunching Song of the Woodman, after you finish a short rest, you may sing this song to recover a hit die plus your constitution modifier's worth of damage without expending one of your hit dice. By spending inspiration, you may do the same for all the other members of your company. Your allies roll to recover hit points based on their hit dice and constitution modifier, not yours. So if someone in the chat or present wants to inspire River, she can do Staunching Song for everyone just to kind of top off on top of whatever Tawny is doing, and also replenish her ward.
As it is a healing thing, I will inspire.
Well, that's too late. Dragon Spear has already inspired the river.
Damn it!
Thank you, Dragon Spear. That's so nice.
Dragon Spear flies back over with the aforementioned, like hang glider. Here. Okay. All right.
The eagles are coming. The eagles are coming.
The eagles. The dragons are coming. No,
It's
this
a very
is a good
leathery eagle, though.
thing. Yeah.
So this is just basically this is going to be
Thanks, Dragon.
as they are setting up and stuff like that. I mean the description says after you finish a short rest. Narratively, that doesn't make as much sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I
rest.
won't stand on ceremony in this case. Yeah.
So River, River, who has just used her voice to sound like a rain of knives, can also use her voice to sound actually like very soft and lilting and gentle and like the sound of watching weaving. Essentially, there's a kind of like gentle weaving quality to what she's doing.
Just clacking of a loom.
That's 17 points to Stone.
Oh,
okay.
Great. What is that? Because I haven't. I've
So
been letting
that's
you-
32. So that means he's maxed out again. That's because he was down to 15. Also, what's up, Kevin?
That's accounting for the calculation.
Yay.
The which? I'm sorry.
The multiplying of my
Yeah.
stuff.
So that is all the amount he's getting back from you, right?
Is
That's max
17
32.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So that means total of 32 is what he's at now.
And
This
so
last
River
one's
is
for me.
great.
The last one's for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is again like on top of what Tawny is doing. So yeah.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
have yet to use the bonus thingy that I got on Flank Steerer.
Yes.
And I don't remember exactly what it does. I could like make something and it's like a meal or something like that to like help the party.
Yes, I think. Let me see if I can find the note.
Took us some work.
Whatever it is, I want to use it. I want to like
Yeah, it's a good call.
help the party, help the gang.
It's a good call. Just need to find out where.
Also, you can keep that like I do this very inelegantly, obviously. But you can also keep what it does in the notes part of your character sheet.
Yeah,
the sheet
I
for-
never had it. Yeah, if
Yeah.
we find out what it is, I'll pop it in there.
Okay, so I think probably what I did. Is this a one use only per something amount of time? Do you remember, Brad?
That's sort of what I
Okay.
recall.
Yeah, I think what I did was I gave. I think what I did was I said that if you cook a meal for the party, using Flank Searer, then once per whatever the case would be journey, like once per long rest, basically, that you would be able to use Flank Searer to make a meal, which would then max out the healing that would normally be done. So if you want to say that you were doing that leading up to this, like if that's what you wanted to do, then I would say that, Tawny, whatever you did in terms of your healing would be even further boosted. And I'm sorry that we have to recalculate that means, but like I forgot that Bolo has that ability as a once per adventure thing. So assuming that you're doing that, Bolo, then do you know what that would have? So you said it was 41 hit points for Inga. Tawny, how would that have changed if it were maxed out? Do you know?
If it were maxed,
Yeah.
then it would be 2d8, which would be 16,
Mm-hmm.
right? Times 3.
Yes. So it'll be 48
plus 5.
53.
That's what it would be.
So I would
Okay,
be at full
so
hit
then she'd be
points.
at full health. All right, so there you go.
Cool.
And
So
how
should it be
and how much did you say for? Did you do for Stone is already maxed, so you'll be able to do max for you, Tani, is what this means, and you'll be able to do max for the River. I think had got 26 points back. So what would it have been for her? Would for the River
It's the
same deal?
right? It's the
Yeah,
same.
it's the
Same.
Same,
Okay,
it's-
so 50. What? I'm sorry. It's the
So that would bring me to 55 because I was at 2 points.
yeah. Okay.
of-
Okay. All right. So 55 for the River, and then for you, Tani, you're at 16 points now. So that would, I think that would max you out then again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Amazing.
And I have no problem with this because it's a once per adventure thing. And so, but I do need Brad to explain to me, sorry, Bolo to explain to me and to all of us exactly what he cooks, because I mean, this feels critically important.
Can I actually, before you do that, just one quick thing? Can we give Dragonspear his inspiration back in that case? Because the inspiration was.
Then
going
you
to
wouldn't
be
use it?
used,
Okay.
Yeah, to Staunching Song. So I'll still use Staunching Song for herself to just like top her up essentially. But like yeah, I think that.
But you're not going to use the inspiration for that. Okay.
Not gonna use the inspiration for it. Yeah, thank you.
Wait, what? Inspiration.
Which means that Clifford also got that many points back as well.
Oh, wait a minute. What the heck did Shadow do here?
I believe the technical term is mess everything up.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm just kidding.
It should be inspiration, add, dragon spear. All right, Dragon, you got to go find Shadowed and find out from him what he did, because I don't know. I don't know what just happened. Reset the list for monthly turnover. Oh. See, I saw that, but I didn't understand. Never mind. Don't beat up Shadowed. Dash admin add.
I'm sorry to make this complicated.
Okay, there we go. Got it. All right. Thank you. I got it. Makes sense. Shadowed was just doing that because we have the channel inspiration, so that's why. All right, good. So lovely. So yeah, I guess if you're gonna top off, then River, that would bring you back up to 60. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Yeah, and I was trying to interpret whether the description, which says a hit die plus your Constitution modifier, means that I still need. So I don't need to use the hit dice, but do I still have to roll the hit die plus the Constitution modifier, or is it just like the D8 plus 2?
I'm not understanding the question.
Sorry, like basically, do I still have to roll a hit die even though I'm not expending the hit die?
Well, you
is it
just click the word and it rolls the appropriate die and bonuses.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
Great, we'll do that. So that's 4 plus 2, and that will take me up to max.
Okay.
Great.
Cool. All right. Good. And that's fine. It's used up a bunch of things until a sanctuary can be found with long resting and all that, but that's okay. Or until Inga uses her special awesomeness at some point in the future. Okay. So yeah, when Brad gets back, I'll have him describe the meal. In the meantime, yeah, Cliff again has offered to take you and follow the tracks, and also says, and when the morning comes, I might even be able to find maybe the tracks of the ponies. I ought to be able to see if some of them went with them. They didn't fly. They must have been taken somewhere, and their bodies weren't there.
River will also bring up the two who they saw. She'll say that as we were walking here, we came across a pool, and there were two lying dead by it. One of them was a dwarf, and one of them was a man. And she just kind of describes the peculiarity of that situation to see if it rings any bell, or if the description of the dwarf might suggest that it was someone that he saw, or that was part of that retinue.
I'm sorry for those poor devils, but no, don't believe that was part of the group that came here. Also, we would have been coming from the other direction. We never got that far. But no, I don't recognize those two the way that you describe them. And we never came across a pool like that. Okay, sorry, Bolo. You can now describe, as I was going to say, like the meal that you make for everybody.
This is very exciting to me because I am actually starving. So this is great. No pressure.
Yeah, he'll make some kind of like toasted nut honey cake type thing. So like just more like a treat to lighten the mood.
Okay.
Yeah, so gooey, cinnamony, honey cake.
I'm liking everything I hear here.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Gooey and cinnamony and fall, first day of fall. Yes, please. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Not a raisin to be found anywhere. Okay. Okay, and so you sort of hand it around, and the meal has this beneficial effect that I've described. Cliff, as he's sort of has put his pipe aside so that he can eat, and he says, "It's been a long time since I've had a meal quite this satisfying. Even if I went to a lord's castle, I probably wouldn't get anything this good. That's what happens when you survive attacks." And his voice drops a little bit, and he says, "I don't know if you felt this way, but I've run into wolves before, and I've heard stories about the giant ones, the wargs in the wild. These ones must have been those, but I don't know, there was something else about them that bothered me. They seemed to be intelligent things, to almost know what others were thinking. They worked together. I don't know. I'm not much of a warrior, but I hope not to see those again in my life."
It's true. We've seen them before. Pardon me for saying so, but you are quite a ways from Bree, and in these parts, there's more danger, I think, than I hear tell of towards the west where you are.
He nods and he says, "It feels like it's been nothing but things like that since we came to this side of Mirkwood. Of course, I thought that with the dwarves with me, we'd be safe enough, and they told me that the journey was coming close to its end. Maybe another 4 or 5 days, maybe a week, and we would have been there at the Lonely Mountain, but it was not to be, I suppose."
Can you tell us anything about the men who attacked? What were they? What did they look like? What were they wearing?
Well, most of them had on what looked like maybe chainmail to me. They had swords and supple leather boots, from what I could tell. They all looked to be actually fairly well armed. They had wooden shields with them too, and I've dealt with bandits before, but these weren't those. They were following orders of some kind, although they never really talked to each other much, just a command here and there, and they did everything. I'd never seen anything move that fast either. They must have known exactly when we were going to be where we were, and knew just when to jump on us when we were weakest. They themselves they're hooded, but mostly bearded, grim-faced folk they were, but I'd never seen them before. Sometimes we run into types like this in Bree, those from the outside, but most of the time they're just passing through, and I hadn't seen quite this many of them. These armed men, there must have been a good, 10, 11, 12 of them maybe, and they all acted as if they had some discipline, as if they'd worked with each other before.
Did any of them take orders from the one that you mentioned that you thought might have been a goblin?
No, not orders from him, but one of them actually gave orders to that thing, from what I could tell. One of them said something in a language I didn't recognize, and it then went off, and after the combat was over, and then it started doing everything it could to, like maybe pick the bodies clean. The only reason I know any of this is because, as I say, they left me for dead, and I only saw the last bit of it before I fell unconscious myself. When I woke up, my leg on fire, I assumed that it was all over, but, it hurt too much for me to be dead. And then when I looked around, I realized that it was still the same place where we had been. Dead bodies lying around me, a lot of blood, and me All on my own, you might say.
River kind of looks towards Inga and says, we should go towards, I think, the fallen, just in case you can speak to who they were, or carry news of them back to their families, perhaps.
Like it suddenly gets like a very dark look on her face. It's like, yeah, sounds about right. So where are they?
They are on the ground. You can actually see somewhat in the fading light of the fire. I assume now you probably have all set up actually your own, because you would have had to set up a campfire. So in the light of the campfire, you can see several bodies on the ground, sort of scattered among the many wolf bodies, which are on the ground as well. And you can see some of the dwarves face down. And there are, as he mentioned, 3 of them, and he kind of points out where the 3 are.
Yeah, I guess like we would have like dragged the warg bodies into the fire.
Okay, if you want to do that, that's fine.
To burn them.
A lot of warg bodies, though. Just be aware. That's fine. Just be aware it's gonna, you'll have to build a
we would take the time. I
Okay,
think.
that's fine.
I was actually curious. This is totally me being curious. I don't know. I know that like warg hides are a thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is the labor and time involved in like making a warg hide? This is strictly going on like remembering Bjorn, nailing skins to his door or whatever and stuff.
It would basically be skinning the wolf, and that I would have to look and see what that would come under. Probably a.
Well, I have never personally skinned a large wolf before, but I have skinned a stag before, so
That's different. It's not that different.
Yeah, like God, like the problem is like we don't have like a hook or anything to put them on, right? What do you call the meat hook?
That's true.
I think
which helps a lot.
Yeah, I imagine that those can be improvised from like the tools that we have and stuff. Like River has like a different, like a dagger and stuff and things that could. But
one of us would have a hunting knife probably, but
yeah. I mean, you could stick it in that tree, that poor one tree, the dagger, and then could kind of hang them.
Yeah, if it's like strong enough to like support a.
Yeah, no, I mean it probably is.
Like, those things are heavy.
Yeah, well, it probably is. I mean, it's certainly that was able to sustain the weight of a man, and it's not strong enough to have multiple
carry
ones.
like.
It wouldn't carry the carcass. It's just for drying the.
No, I know, for the skins. Yeah. It's probably not big enough though to have multiple skins. Like it probably, I mean, maybe 2 or or whatever, but it's not big enough to hold.
No, we would need to carry the hides with us. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Like, why would we want to do that?
I see.
Like,
Well, because so here's my question. So the reason I'm asking is because I imagine that the woodsmen do this on the regular, I imagine, because like they're training their dogs specifically to fight wargs. They live literally under the eaves of Mirkwood.
Right.
And I am imagining that there is a part of this that is just a kind of general like respect for like the ecos, or that just like that there's not a waste essentially. That like here is this giant creature that you have killed and stuff. And besides the like, I don't like to think of a trophy aspect, but I do like to think of it's not going to waste. This hide is going to become armor or a blanket or something like that. So that's the kind of thing that I'm expecting that if that is possible to accomplish during a short rest or something, I can imagine River doing that for just one, if only to like it's like it's just as a custom.
I think you will have enough time because presumably you're waiting until the morning to set out anyway. So I would say that since you're only doing the short rest, you probably would have enough time to do something like that for one of them, I would say. So yeah, that would be my thought about that. You are then going to have to carry the hide with you one way or the other, as Inga pointed out. But still, having said that, sure.
I would want to think of it as like,
those things stink.
They do.
Oh my god!
It will smell very bad until we do stuff to it to make it stink less, I imagine.
Yeah, but do you have like any? Oh god, what is that stuff called in English? Like the stuff you get from like oak?
Yeah, resin.
No, not resin. Like it's.
Lye.
Is that what it's called in English?
Really?
Like the stuff to like treat leather.
You mix. It's a mixture of water, lye, and brains.
Brains?
Really?
Yeah, part of the if you're
I
making
think
leather,
we're talking of something.
you have to
way
you
different.
brain the leather, and it's a
Way of
typically-
tanning the leather.
Yeah.
Oh, I
and
see.
it would be urine, brain,
Wait, brain, BRANE or like the?
AIN.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why whenever you kill something, you take the brain as well, because you're going to mush it up and put it in the water
I didn't
with
know that.
the lye and everything. You're going
Wow.
to spread it. Once you stretch out the skin, you spread the brain mixture on there. No, excuse me. The brain mixture goes into a bucket and you stuff the. But then you have to scrape all the fat off. It's
I was today years old when I learned that. I didn't
Right.
know.
It's
Ew!
Yeah.
What?
you get like a big bucket from Home Depot, and you mix in the brain and the lye and the water.
From Home Depot.
I mean, obviously
I
not in
just-
Middle Earth.
No, I
They
know, I
only
know.
have
It was
one
just
Home
funny because
Depot,
you're all
and
like, you use urine and brain and no waste. Also a bucket from Home Depot, and then you use this thing like
there's one Home Depot. It was in Escaroth. It's awful. Anyway,
the Home
Like I
Depot
was
of
like
Escaroth.
thinking of like tanning with oak rind. That's what I was.
Because like
thinking
you could return this to any other Home Depot in Middle Earth, and they just stare at them. They're just like, what? I don't. Yeah, Hearth Depot, exactly.
Yeah, I like. Okay, and yeah. Okay, and I mean,
you would
this
have to build a framework and stretch it out if you wanted to
Yeah.
do stuff on it, and then you scrape all of the it's an involved.
essentially, I guess the thing I'm wondering is, I'm wondering two things, kind of. I'm wondering a mechanical thing and a narrative thing. Narratively, I kind of like the idea of like, here's a custom thing. Stone specifically getting to kill a warg, I think, is a special thing. I think it's happened before, but I hadn't considered it at the time. That like it's a special thing that he can have this hide for, I don't know, extra warmth or being more scary in battle or something like
Well,
that.
I mean, what I was going to suggest is there a way that instead of doing that, you considered cutting off part of the creature's tail or a paw? Paw would be pretty heavy, but like or a tooth, something like that, which then could be almost hung around Stone's neck. Because I think that it's not likely to keep him warm without restricting him, is my guess. So the question really is to sort of make him look scarier in battle. I don't know, but I could imagine him being. Listen, whatever people say, when dogs get things like ribbons or things like that, there are many dogs that no matter how allegedly frightening the dog looks, the dog feels like awesome. I remember giving my dog Lilo like a ribbon, and my dog was not like some little Shih Tzu or something like that, and still she wore that ribbon with pride. She loved the ribbon. She was like, this is my ribbon. So this I mean, I would think that would have something. I mean, all jokes aside, I could imagine that being something, but that might be a little bit more I don't know,
That would be more a teeth thing.
reasonable.
I think she would probably take the teeth from whichever one hurt him the most that they ended up killing.
Oh, okay. Make the skull into a battle helmet. It's not gonna
Yes. See?
It's a large animal. You could do that.
Yeah, but can you imagine he's like the skull slides around his face?
He
and
just
it's
looks like a
you know.
Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Cubone. How adorable.
Cubone.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, I think she could genuinely make him a necklace of warg teeth that he could wear.
Yeah.
That would like in battle. That'd be kind of cool on a strip of leather or something like that. But anyway, that's a thwart the idea. I thought there was like some other use she could put warg skin to that would be helpful on their journey and not just a smelly load that they have to carry around.
And the answer to that is probably if you can think about how to do that given both time frame and also like lack of frame, if you will.
Okay.
Framework that might be needed. But so yeah. Okay. All right. So when you have decided what you're going to do about that, and the rest of the evening passes pretty uneventfully. You hear no sound of howling wolves in the distance. They seem to have been quite cowed, at least for the moment, after you destroyed half of their number anyway. And in the morning when you wake up, a beautiful fair day, and you look around the campsite, you can see in the light of day that indeed there are multiple tracks from here, and they're not just wolf tracks. In fact, you can see tracks from boot prints, obviously left by the attackers, who are heading away from here, along with hoof prints from multiple ponies. And so Cliff immediately, goes over there and points down and says, here's our way ahead. He also, now, is there a way that any of you want to try to make, or Tani, that you want to make him like a primitive, crutch of some
Lathe?
kind? Or
right.
primitive lathe.
Probably.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that, but no, a crutch of some kind.
Inga has woodworking as a skill. She could probably make him something pretty good.
Okay. I'll buy
If we
that.
can find
You want to cut down that one
is-
remaining tree? The final
Sure.
tree.
Inga could help make a frame for stretching the height.
She could.
Yeah. I was thinking
Uh,
about that in the
but
internet.
then, how you're gonna carry that? That's the thing. But yeah, no, she could probably make quite a what's it called? Serviceable crutch.
Okay. So he, so assuming you do that,
Yes.
because again, you do have a little bit of time to do it. Yep. Sorry, Triffid. No saving the tree in this world. The tree goes down. So he is now able to move, and you can see, he winces a little bit. He's not in terrible pain, but obviously, as I mentioned, it's going to take a little while for this thing to recover fully. But he seems like he can move around, relatively speaking, and he prepares himself to go. As you're all getting ready to set off along these tracks, Bolo, he comes up to you again, and he sort of says, "Well, Master Bolo, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the food that we had last night. You might say that I'm a sort of amateur cook of sorts, and I did a lot of the cooking on the journey when I was with the dwarves, and I was struck by the food that you gave us, very fall-like, cinnamony and all, and I wondered whether or not, can anyone learn to do what you've done, or is there some kind of magic training you've done, work in the wild, or I imagine it's taken you many decades to learn to be able to produce food like this."
Well, let's talk about something called pumpkin spice.
He's,
Now that fall is here.
pumpkin spice. That sounds delightful. Well, I raise pumpkins, and you're off to the races. So
Yeah.
he's just like, and he says, with lovely orange and tan colors. Anyway. Okay. So you set off along the tracks. Let's bring you back to the map here. So you set off along the tracks here, and at first, I'm going to freehand this. At first, the path goes this way, like that. But then, somewhat to your dismay, especially Inga, I would say, it turns east. And that means that it's heading towards the waste. And the waste sucks.
Yeah.
But that is where the tracks
upset
are.
by this. I'm upset by this.
Yeah.
We might meet another end wife. That would be.
That's true. Yeah, it's leading towards the waste. And what I need is the guide, who is in fact Inga, to make a survival check for me. I don't remember if you do this at advantage already because of the known lands thing.
I'm gonna check, or I was about to
Because
check.
if not, his presence, Clifford's presence, will grant you advantage anyway on that check.
Oh, so I get advantage.
Yeah.
Regardless, I
Then
just
don't
wanted
bother
to.
looking it up.
Yeah, I guess still bother. Yeah, just.
Survival, yeah.
Yes, survival.
Survival. Where is it?
Bottom of the thing. Good.
I'm glad that you got advantage on that. So yes, you were able to keep on the tracks of these creatures, and you notice that the not only do you notice that they're the tracks, but you also see, Inga, that the tracks get farther apart as you go, which would suggest that the people that you're following had increased their pace.
Oh.
They were moving
I thought you
more
meant
quickly.
further apart.
Yeah, like left and right. What? No.
Wait,
they-
we are tracking something right now. I get a thing for that. While tracking other creatures, you automatically learn the exact number, their sizes, and how recently they passed through the area.
Yes, but these tracks are single file. No.
No, I was gonna say, wait, what? Okay, so let's see. Let me do a quick calculation. So, okay, there are 9 creatures you think that you are following. No. There are 12 creatures that you are following, Inga. 9 of them, 8 of them, sorry, I'm having to calculate in my head. 8 of these creatures appear to be human, at least judging by the size of the boot. One of them has considerably smaller sized boots.
Wait. So 9 of them were presumably human sized.
8 of them, sorry. 8 of them were presumably human sized. One of them was much smaller. Possibly that's the goblin, small, or if that is a goblin, but it's the one that Cliff told you was the one who shot the arrow at him. And then there are 3 sets of tracks of sort of larger, sturdy-looking booted feet, and that's probably the dwarves, if you had to guess, Inga, the 3 dwarves that they have with them. And then there are multiple hooves of horses as well.
1 each or 4? Never mind.
Sorry? Yeah,
Sleipnir.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like
Right.
Sleipnir.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's...
So how many horses?
So horses, at least initially, it seems like there are 6 horses worth. Actually, ponies really more than horses.
And
Okay, and
Golden
how
Drake,
recently they got through here?
Your guess is that they probably only passed through here about maybe a day and a half to 2 days ago. Pretty recent. And you've
Wait,
been a
for
little
how
lucky.
long have we been following these tracks right now?
So it'd been the morning, so it goes north and then sets east. So probably it's about a day's worth of time that you've been following them. And it was about halfway into that time that you noticed the tracks were beginning to get longer, as if they had sped up their pace about halfway through. So you're still probably about a day and a half behind them, if you had to guess, Inga. And they are moving at a good pace now. Perhaps
Have we seen
feeling
any
the pursuit.
like camp spots along the way?
You have not so far, no.
So they might be like doing a forced march, as they say.
Could well be.
So you said about 1.5 day, yeah?
That's right. And it takes you probably to go north that way and then turn east. It probably takes about another 2.5 days or so that it is over a little bit over a week, right around a week to a little over a week, when, to both yours and the river's dismay anyway, you come to the border of the waste, and the tracks go right into it. So these ones are heading into the waste. Now, the problem with this is twofold. Not only does the waste suck, and Bolo, you have never traveled across the waste, but Tani and Inga and the river have, and it is not fun, as we'll describe. But the other problem with it is that it becomes harder to pick up the track. Now, having Clifford with you is going to help you because Clifford is still able to follow the tracks of his ponies. In fact, you've been quite impressed, Ingo, with how well Cliff has handled things with Lillimon, who seems to have really taken to him. Clearly, this guy really knows ponies very well. But as you were heading into the waste, the problem is that it's also a broken and desolate landscape, and so you don't have like muddy footprints or anything like that to follow. So the tracking is going to get more difficult here as you go through. And it is
Also, it's not known lands anymore.
That's right. Multiple sort of situations with that as well. So as we go into this leg of the journey, the peril here is going to increase. It's all good news, really. It's just all wonderful.
just a little bit of peril.
There's just a tiny bit of peril. They would leave a trackable scent for stone. If it comes to the point flying where they lose track of, where like for whatever reason Inga loses it, stone may have an opportunity to pick up on it. But the scent is being increasingly blown away by the wind, which is beginning to pick up, and it's quite dry here. So that is cutting down on the scent issue. It makes it harder to be able to pick it up. let's talk a little bit about how the journey part is going to work. Bear with me for just a second.
And the Golden Drake, yes,
I'll
it
be right
is
back.
a pace race. Pace, if you wish to sponsor this this stream, we would be very much appreciated. Please, I know for a fact that I sent you a tweet probably some 3 or 4 years ago where I said, why don't you make the large jar in the hot flavor? You fucking cowards. I mean, maybe, never mind.
Maybe that'd be a good idea.
I mean, I don't know why they don't make it.
Okay. So this is going to be a peril rating here of 3. This is hard terrain that you're going into. So it is going to make things more difficult, and that is going to affect stuff. And so as soon as Inga, who I assume is everyone staying in their same role with Bolo as scout, you technically haven't arrived yet, so you could just hold on to your current roles within the journey, which would be River as lookout, Bolo as scout, Inga as guide, and Tani as the hunter. Is everyone cool sticking with those same roles?
I think so.
Yeah.
Inga is clearly, because she's invisible.
Yes.
That's right. Remind me again the difference between lookout and scout. Lookout is perception, scout is
right. So the scout it relies on stealth and investigation. The scout is basically in charge of setting up camp. Tends to so that's right.
That's much more Bolo's bag. I will say though, no, never mind. Damn it, I always forget.
You already said
I did.
I will say
I will say I did say it. I think I need to say this out loud so that someone else is accountable to this besides me. River's armor gives her advantage on stealth and dexterity checks in let me just double check this. I think forested areas. I just want to make sure.
Right, I remember us talking about that.
But I just want to when moving through forested areas. Okay, great. Just to
put that out there. So, guide, which is Inga, I need you to make another embarkation roll as you head into the waste. So this is going to be D12. We're going to add your survival proficiency bonus. We're going to add half your wisdom bonus, and we're going to subtract 3 from it because that's the peril rating of this journey.
Does wisdom bonus round up or down?
Down.
Down. Okay. So
I'm giving you inspiration.
Yay!
That's
I'm
fine.
using it in the chat.
Okay, so just D12 plus my survival.
Well, D12 plus survival. Yeah, your survival plus half your wisdom.
Yeah, that's 0.
Oh, which is 0 because roll down, rounded down, and then minus the peril rating. Thank you for the
Which is,
inspiration.
or do you not tell
It's
me?
3.
3. Okay, so I get a +1.
Okay.
D12 plus 1. That's pretty straightforward.
And you're doing this at inspiration because of the power of Amal and the Patreon.
That did nothing, so
Great.
rolled a 6 on both.
Okay,
So-
so it's 2 6s. Okay.
Yeah, so
So you got a 6.
So 7.
So right.
7.
Okay. The way that as you embark, the term for this is feasts fit for the kings of ancient times. Perhaps game is plentiful, or herbs, mushrooms, and root vegetables seem to spring up out of nowhere along the company's path. Perhaps it is the memory of the delicious cinnamon meal that Bolo provided all of you. But for whatever reason, your meals during this part of the journey will be a thing to be anticipated with joy and to be remembered for days after, which means that all members of the company receive a +1 bonus to all skill checks made during this journey. Now, that's +1. Now, if there's other negatives that come up because of whatever, then you have to add that in. But you have a +1 just for the purposes of this journey. So if I forget that,
So all skill checks, yeah?
please remind me. All skill checks. That's right. Okay. And that is going to bring us here into the waste. So as you are beginning to... Oh, and I have to make a roll. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay. So. Okay. All right. So as you proceed in for about a day's travel as you pass into the lands. And I'm going to move Cliff over here. And if you folks want to move your tokens over onto this side, that would be lovely, right where Cliff is. For about a day, you notice simply the fact that there is a general kind of sort of unease that settles over all of you. This is a blasted land of ash and cracked earth and charcoal fingered woods and incinerated buildings. This is all blackened by dragon fire, and you find that all of you are getting sort of more and more grim as you pass along here. There is little animal or plant life here, just a few mean shrubs and thorns and seemingly endless beetles and maggots and stuff like that. This is not a pleasant part of your journey. And as you are passing across this, I need a couple of things. As you get probably about a day in, this sort of constant feeling of this weighing down, plus the whistling wind, which begins to increase a little bit and which blows sort of sand and grit in your eyes. It all kind of sucks. Everyone feels pretty miserable about it. So what I need is two things. First, I need the guide to make for me a survival check to see whether you can pick up this trail. It's a much harder survival check, Inga, but you do still get advantage because Clifford is with you. Okay. And Clifford is, you were actually, Inga, increasingly impressed with how good he is at picking up tracks. Because, like, there are times where you're like, there's nothing. He's like, no, you can see down there, we're the one. And then you're like, oh my God, yeah. And it's a good thing, because, again, that would not have worked out. But with a 19, you are able to stay with the tracks as you pass across.
Can I ask you to do the magic thing that gives me power to move Stone's token?
Oh, is he not? Oh, sure. Sure.
Being obstinate.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't know why. Okay, I think it's working now. Let's see if it...
Yay!
Okay.
Yes.
So, the other thing I want to note is that when you get into day 2, Tawny, you go out basically on the hunt to try to find sort of, to find things. Let me back up. It wasn't a 19, it was a 20, because remember, all of your skill checks get a +1. I just wanted to point that out.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't matter anyway, but I'm just letting you know. So, okay, Tawny, your work on this hunt, as you've tried to look around, is you've never actually had to look this far, and what you end up bringing back is this rather, you find like one sort of pathetic looking rabbit that looks like it's seen better days and somehow must have wandered in here. You bring back some kind of plants and things like that, but even Bolo's particular skill, which makes it so that he's able to make the meal enough that again, the benefits that I talked about before are still there. You're able to eat well enough, but the experience of it weighs on you, Tawny. This is a dead land, and sometimes people are like, oh, it seems so barren, like a desert. Like, no, a desert is actually filled with life. This is not filled with life. And so that begins to truly weigh on you. And you note that Clifford in particular, although he always enjoys a pipe of tobacco, is smoking like all the time now. is just like constantly doing something along these lines. So I need Tawny and I need Inga in the river. And I guess Bolo too, actually. I need all 4 of you to make 2 checks for me. The first is going to be a wisdom saving throw, and this is going to be to avoid the feeling of misery kind of setting into you. Then I'm going to ask you to also make a second corruption saving throw to avoid gaining a shadow point. So I'm telling you these 2 throws up front so you can decide if you want to try to ask for inspirations or inspire each other or whatever on either of these checks or both of them. So each of you will need to make 2 saving throws. The first to avoid misery, the second to avoid gaining a point of shadow. And you get +1 to those checks because of the... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. These are saving throws, not a check. So I'm sorry. No, you don't get advantage to that. You don't get the points because this is saving throw, not a check. So yes.
Refresh.
So you just get...
my brain. How do we make a corruption check?
Corruption check is a wisdom saving throw as well. So you're making 2 wisdom saving throws.
2 different things.
First for misery, second for shadow.
A thing I want to remember before I do this,
Yeah, no one roll yet. Also, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mel. Effect life. The one with the highest number of shadow points is clearly Inga right now with 8.
Yeah.
So, because Effect life's going to inspire you, Inga, because he doesn't want Inga to fall further into shadow.
Yeah, then I'm gonna use that for the corruption check. So.
Okay, so you're going to hold on to that for corruption. Thank you, Effect life, for the inspiration. Okay, sorry, Mel. Go ahead.
Sorry, the I know that Runes of Victory is +1 to saving throws, but is that only in battle or is that any saving throw?
Probably only in battle. You said.
Oh, I've been adding it to all my saving throws.
Here, let me double check. Let me double check.
So then we have to back up to the point where we got these weapons enchanted and do all of our gaming over again.
We have to ex post facto the entire. Okay.
I figured so long as we have the thing like with us, like the weapon with us, we get like the thing.
No, all saving throws. All saving throws.
Oh, fantastic.
You're right.
Okay, great. So at least there is that as well. Because it makes sense to me because like we got those weapons enchanted at the end of our return from the waste last time. Right. So like after the.
And that's just for you and for Inga, of course. That's not for the ones bearing the weapons.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's go to do this in order. Tani, can we start with you? Your first wisdom saving throw for survival for misery. Second is for
16.
Okay, so that is yes. So you are not miserable despite what you have come across. Maybe it's the meal that Bolo gave you that made you forget. Now the second one is for corruption.
No, never mind. Not 7. What the corruption? 25.
Yes.
Oh.
Such a good, listen, the honey cakes, everything, like it's all
They're all
good.
right.
You're okay. Okay. Bolo, you are up next.
So, question.
Yes.
So I have that delving the darkest depths thing, where I'm miserable in deep places, but otherwise I have resistance against corruption.
You got it.
What is resistance against corruption?
Resistance against corruption means, I believe, that you make those saves at advantage to try to avoid gaining shadow.
Okay. And then that I still have that D4. Can I use that on either of these?
I don't know. Is the D4?
Is that still available?
I thought that had to be just during battle, but let me just double check.
Oh, sure. That would make sense.
It is the next day. Well, no, it's several days later.
Yeah, several days later.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so my guess is
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it specifies additional D4 on their next attack.
Yeah, so that's it's used up.
So yeah, sorry.
All right, so what misery is the first one?
Hi, Echo. You're talking about Karadros, and yes, misery is the first one. Yes. Yeah, listen, you've got that focus on the meal, right? So that's the good news. The bad news is, though, even with your resistance to corruption, so that you're dealing with well, let's confirm it. That's a 13 plus 1. No, because it's not plus 1 because it's not, yeah. So it's just the 13. So sadly, you do feel this sort of darkness. You've never been in the waste, Bolo, and this place is awful. It reminds you even a little bit of the desolation of the chasm below you as you saw it. So you get a shadow point. So you were up to 3 shadow points. Inga, you were up next. First up is the misery check.
Yeah, remind me what misery does again.
If you are miserable, it means things that are important that I'll tell you when I find it.
Did I get shadow points in the last adventure?
You had 2 shadow points coming into this.
I don't remember having any before. I must have. But I wasn't here in the last adventure. Did we have shadow?
There was definitely there were shadow things that popped up in different places. I know that you got some because I remember assigning them. I don't remember when though.
Okay.
I think it was seeing the dead bodies at the pool.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yes, because there were the dead bodies at the pool, Bolo. That caused shadow points for certain people who missed it. Blame Tren. He was running your character. No, I'm kidding.
All his fault.
Okay. Let's see.
It's basically Melkor in disguise.
Okay. What question was I just trying to answer? What did I completely forgot? I was
what does
looking up.
misery do?
Oh, what does misery do? So when one person is miserable, the miserable condition means that you are right. Miserable means you have disadvantage on attack rolls and automatic.
No, I'm taking my fucking inspiration for this one.
Okay, and
This
you
is way worse
automatically
than
fail.
getting another shadow point.
You also automatically fail charisma ability checks, but
Well, I mean, because Inge is so charismatic to begin with. No, okay, then I'm using my inspiration for the
misery.
Yeah. Okay, wisdom check, right?
Yes, wisdom saving throw, not a check.
Yeah, safe.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes. So
Plus
you are not miserable from this.
Yes. Okay, and now without advantage for the corruption. 14?
That's 15. Because
No, it's 14.
It's 14.
I edited my character sheet that it automatically adds a +1.
Yep. 14, sadly. Whoa, my goodness. Echo, what does misery do? It sends Kathy Bates at you. What does resubbage do? It makes the almighty Quill all the more powerful. I'll give these 2 links a good look-see. Welcome, Echo. Thank you so much for the tier 2 resub. I appreciate it, man. You have found the answer of life with those 42 months. Thank you. So that is not enough, I'm sorry to say, Inga. You gain a point of shadow as you feel this sweeping over you. You are now at 9 shadow points, and you're the sort of cumulative effect of dealing with this constant, like, it just seems like it's like
I got a better one.
Oh, you got a better one?
Trust me.
Lay it on me.
Yeah, because like last time when we traveled through here, like her mom was like basically dying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like traveling through here again,
Oh,
this
it's
brings,
triggering.
like, all the
Yes,
memories
yes,
up
yes.
of
Sure.
like seeing her mom like in bed, like without any energy and like being all pale and stuff.
Yep.
That's just
That would make sense to me.
yeah. So just like
um,
a healthy dose of trauma hitting her there.
Okay.
Unhealthy dose.
That is going to I like that. That's a good one.
I don't like.
Well, I mean, like it in a term of that's cool narratively. That brings us to the river, who has to make these 2 checks. So first is for misery, second is for shadow.
Hey, can I maybe get that inspiration back from Dragon
Yeah.
Spear?
Oh, or I can give you one.
Oh, okay.
Is Dragon going to inspire? I want to see if Dragon is like, one of these people is going to get my inspiration with the first. Damn it! Son of me is going to. I'm going to wait. Okay. So I guess, Trent, if you're going to throw that inspiration that way.
That would be
I will do so.
awesome. I will use that actually for River. I think that so the last time that they went through the waste and stuff, like River got very full up on shadow points and literally like I think failed almost every check, every wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
And just could not stop going forward into the things that brought on corruption checks as she was exploring the waste. So I think that I'm going to narratively say that like that is the thing that I want to keep it for the shadow, for the corruption role.
Okay.
Because I think that having come through that is the thing that she feels most on guard against.
I gotcha. Okay, so this first misery roll then is going to be done just normal, is basically what that. Okay.
So wisdom saving throw. Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh, that's 12.
That is sadly not going to get it done.
Oh no, miserable.
Yep, you are miserable.
Oh boy.
That sucks.
It does suck, and gonna now do the second one. At advantage.
Yep, it's Kathy Bates' fault.
I don't know who that is actually.
Oh my god. Okay.
So
But wait. No, wait. Do I crit on the 4?
no.
No. That is, it's just that because I don't know. It's the same thing.
No,
the
I
same
know. You don't crit on
victory-
it.
The same thing that says +1 to saving throws does also say
No,
that.
that's not no. That's not your weapon using it. I have great respect for the weapon's like beneficial qualities, but that's bridge too far.
Well,
So
it's a
another shadow point sadly descends upon you as you sort of feel this even we haven't talked about Stone. Stone needs to make these checks.
No!
Stone is right next to you. Lilimon, you can see, by the way, Inga is sort of... Surprisingly, Lilimon, although obviously is a little down in the dumps too, is not as much as you would expect and not as much as Stone. Maybe because Cliff is also watching over him and speaks every so often, even though Cliff also looks pretty messed up through this. But yes, so two checks for Stone, please. Yeah.
Ay.
This is
These are bad rolls. I don't like them. I
Yep.
don't like these
Biffchen.
rolls.
These are less than optimal. So yes, you can tell just by Stone's sort of reaction that he is quite down about all of this. And as the days sort of wind into the next, you begin to feel this happening kind of on a regular basis. Now, the good news is you don't have to make that miserable check again. The bad news is that over the next couple of days, each day you have to make another corruption saving throw. Not a misery saving throw, but a corruption saving throw each of the next 2 days. And then something's going to happen after that day, and then we're going to wrap for tonight. So, I'm going to ask the party to make 2 more corruption saving throws, please.
Really?
For day 2 and day 3. Everybody.
Oh my god.
Tani is still fine. Tani is still fine. It is a dream.
I have a question
Sure.
/ request. So as a hobbit, I have resilient, which allows me to, it gives me advantage on corruption saving
Yes.
throws. And back when I opted for that delving to the darkest depths thing, I didn't realize that is a repeat essentially. The
Yeah, you know
benefit
what? And I actually
is
think
the
what
exact same thing.
I think what I did, I think I'm wrong on that, by the way, Brad. The resistance means that you are going to get the shadow point gain would typically be halved. Now, the only problem in this for you is that you have to get, like, you can't go from 1 to 0 on a shadow point check. So even though it's half, normally you would say, well, you don't round down, you round up. So the point is, if you were to get, for example, 4 shadow points, you would only get 2 because of the resistance that you're feeling. So it's not actually a repeat. So I misspoke. So you have resilience, which gives you advantage. And additionally, the number of shadow points you get in a given event is halved. Yes.
Okay.
So probably that should have come into play when if he got 2 shadow. I'm pretty sure he got 2 shadow points in one shot.
Maybe that's the case. So then he would only he'd have 1 fewer. Yeah, I think you're right, River. So let's say that you're starting with 2 shadow points here, Bolo, instead of 3.
Okay. Right. And then wisdom again.
Yes, and just to confirm, so Inga, you made 1 and missed the second, so you have 10 shadow points.
Yeah, so for reference, I have 12 wisdom points, so 2 more shadow points, and
we got some problems. Yep.
yeah, I'm already looking up the what
the
happens.
rules. Yeah, exactly. Oh,
I hate these rolls.
Wow.
Oh my god.
So Bolo, you are going to get 1 each. Sadly, I wish I could say that it's a combination. I'm trying to think if I'm going to be merciful. I really can. It's 2 separate checks, so I have to say that it's 1 point each on these. Okay. So that means you're at 4 shadow, Bolo, as the waste, kind of the presence of it, continues to trouble you. Okay, River, I need yours and Stones, please.
Yep. I don't even know if I like my character. I feel so worn down. I don't know if I even want to ask the chat for another inspiration, knowing that there is we do have another session next week, right?
You do have another session next week. That's right.
So I feel the need to like hold on to the inspiration that I have left to give for whatever happens next time. Oops, oh no, what's happened? Oh, I lost my window.
Yeah, so you didn't need the inspiration for the wolves. You need the inspirations for the waste. That's what you needed for.
Like I said, I was saving it for a more
for this.
important...
Yep,
We
absolutely.
were going to the waste. We weren't supposed to go there. We were supposed to go the other way. I hate the waste.
Yeah,
I'm
the
so
waste
upset.
sucks.
Ugh. Anyway.
Listen, it could be the Gray Mountain. You know, the Gray Mountains. It could be worse.
Are the Grey Mountains worse than the waste? Really? I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Even a worse land.
Well, the things living in the Grey Mountains were the issue, but you know, there were at least living things.
That's true.
So
This is a good point.
All right, so here we go. So unless there's a magical inspiration that comes through for either of these,
Looks like
here
not.
we go. So for the first wisdom saving throw, here we go. So that's a 14 plus 1 is a 15.
That is just enough.
Whew! Okay, well that's 1. You know what?
And the plus 1 is coming from your weapon, right? Yes. Okay. Yep.
I'm gonna do 1 for stone because I'm gonna do day by day.
Okay. So stones.
Here's Stone's wisdom saving throw.
Yes. So 17 is
17,
fine.
right?
He's okay. Yeah. 18 is okay. Or no, 17, not 18. He doesn't get the benefit of the weapon.
He doesn't get the bonus.
But he's still fine.
And
All right, day 2 for you.
and that is a 17.
17 is fine. You're okay.
And here's for stone. And that's a 19.
19. Wow. All right.
Ah!
That actually works out okay. And so and as you're sort of settling in, I think this works perfectly narratively because it's on the evening of the 3rd night since entering the waste that you're all settling in. And
85 wolves.
no, not 85 wolves, but you do feel yourself sort of you wake up, and I would say that this is probably Inga, and Inga probably feels this first, but Tani may get a little bit of this also, where you wake up and you begin to feel like itchy and like increasingly itchy, and then you realize that your sleeping cots, all of them, have been infested with fleas. Remember, I told you that there are maggots and bugs here, and so you feel itchy and suffer an almost unbearable itch. So I need all 4 of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh boy.
This is not misery, at least. This is con.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
No problem.
So let's see. Bolo, Inga's fine. Bolo, this
She has
itch-
she actually has soap with her. Oh my
That's
god, I
what's
do
fine.
have soap in my inventory.
Tani is completely fine. Tani continues to be like, this is the best trip ever. I don't understand the problem.
I don't think that's true.
And the river apparently not so much. And I
I
need
have
to have
12.
Stone clearly needs to make one as well.
But
Bolo,
12?
the river, and the target number is 15 here.
Oh, okay.
So Bolo and the river, and we'll see if it's Stone. Wow.
Oh,
One level of, get this, exhaustion.
Oh,
So
boy.
now I know that Tani has honey cakes, which can affect this. So I don't know, are you just going to use those, like, because you could use those now, I assume, Tani? I don't know how many you brought with you. But,
Let me check. I have 10.
okay. So if you want to use, like, if you want to take, like, 3 off that list, 1 for Stone, 1 for Bolo, the river, then you don't have to write them down, the levels of exhaustion. The name of this event was called Flea Bitten, by the way, in case anybody's curious.
I actually kind of upsettingly love the narrative reality of the dog rolling a 1 on resistance
On fleas.
to fleas.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's just-
exactly. Okay. And on the morning of the 4th day, Bolo, this is going to be important for you because we're going to pick up on this next week. On the morning of the 4th day, you wake after having been itchy and miserable and whatever and just dealing with everything with these fierce winds, which have been blowing a little bit, but now have begun to blow from the north, whipping up a storm of ashes. There's fine grit that swirls and gets everywhere. Equipment, provisions, even your meals have a slight acrid, ashen taste as you eat with them. And when the wind finally drops on the following, so it basically, you wake up in the morning and the whole day it's like this. And it's not until the following day, when you move into day 5, that the ash and storm has passed. At which point you recognize, to your horror, that the tracks you were following have now vanished, such as they were. And so, as Bolo, you look over this featureless, waste-filled, now ash-covered landscape. Cliff stands next to you and says, "Well, Master Bolo, if this wasn't bad enough as it is, how are we going to find him in all that?" And that is where we're going to bring our session to a close. Bolo, the scout, is going to be very critical in this next section of the journey, and that's going to be you. So,
All right.
you're going to have scouting to do. Everyone's like, wow, journeys in Middle-earth suck. Yeah, they do a little bit. Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Well,
that
I mean, we all know how, like, you know, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings go, so...
Exactly. That's it. That's it.
Not exactly, you know, or riding ponies and singing songs.
Exactly. It's a slog.
Have you guys seen the TikTok of the guy who is like, you know, Tolkien, you know,
yes.
You're writing
and then they walk, then they walk, then they walk. Yes.
Walk some more. It's so,
it is funny, yeah.
So funny because it's true.
It is funny because it's true. Having said that, I really enjoyed this. I liked watching the session go out, not because I was rooting for all of you to get, you know, hurt or anything, but because the battle against the wolves, it was fun to see how you all handled that, and then dealing with Clifford, and it was from the point of view of a delicious narrative moment. When the track turned east, and all of you were like, God, son of a dude, like it was really funny to watch that, except for maybe Brad, because Bolo hadn't been in the waste yet. Yeah. But the ones who were in the waste were just like, this is so bad.
Bolo's like, what? We're just heading east. Who cares?
It's great, no problem. And then blasted landscape.
The worst. We should call it the worst from now on.
It's the worst. It's not the waste. It's the worst.
Yes.
And Mal, the river obviously had some very big moments combat-wise. I was not sure if the river was going to be upright the whole time. I thought she might actually get knocked unconscious for part of it, but you made it through, and it's a good thing you all used your songs of stanching and, you know, did all this stuff when you needed to, because as you go in this, whenever you come across the people you're facing, you will do so having been kind of beaten down a bit by all this trip. So it's good that you got in your healing when you could. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Man, there's a lot. You know, for someone who was going to like enter this sleepy, I think it makes sense to be exiting it exhausted, character-wise as well. So, no, I thought the combat with the wolves was particularly great. I really love feeling a mechanic have the correct narrative effect, and like seeing how pack tactics works, where, like, you know, at this point we're all whatever level we're at and we're badasses and stuff, and wargs are things that we faced before, but we haven't faced them with pack tactics, or at least we haven't faced, maybe, I don't know, these super advanced wargs or something, but like there's just a difference in terms of like scale and category, and feeling that was really good, feeling that this was like a difficult, scary battle, which is what a battle with a bunch of giant wolves should feel like, was really good. Yeah, so I don't know, I feel good about it. I cannot begin to tell you how much I hate that we're going into the waste. I hate it so much.
Thanks, I hate it.
It makes me so sad. The worst thing, but it, you know, again, it's a mechanical effect that is so effective in terms of just being the relentlessness of those checks and stuff really does mimic just how awful it would be to be walking through this kind of landscape with the kind of material conditions that we have. They don't have goggles, like what the hell?
Yep.
I don't know. So that, I don't know, I just really appreciate that. This game always continues to astound me in its mechanics of shadow and despair and stuff. Super not looking forward to, how do we get rid of miserable? I can't remember.
There are different ways to erase those conditions. Sometimes certain healing benefits can do that. Occasionally there are like narrative events. I have to double check and see if long rests can have an effect on that sometimes. So there are different things like that, but it's not easy. It's one of the reasons that Brad had to think very carefully about whether to go with the whole misery underground thing. Although I think in this case, it actually has benefited you so far, since you're dealing with this above ground stuff. You know, like you have one fewer shadow point than you would have without that. So for what that's worth. But anyway, so there are ways.
So that's it's good. Anyway, it's always amazing to me how this stuff kind of ends up feeling as you're playing it. So I think it's great. People can find me. I am actually going to be in conversation with P. Jelly Clark on the 25th, which I think is Saturday? Yes. I'll drop a link to it. The Library of Congress is doing the National Book Festival, I think, and so it's one of those events. P. Jelly Clark has written his first novel, Master of Jinn, which is set in the same world as a novella of his I super loved called The Haunting of Tramcar 015. It's delightful. It's like, what if Egypt was never colonized and, you know, was actually full of self-determination and women got the vote and stuff, and so it's just like, and there were jinn, the reason that they were not colonized is because like the Gen helped out and stuff. So it's a really fun world. I'm super looking forward to chatting with him, and that's gonna be cool. Other than that, I think that's basically the only event I've got coming up, but you can always sign up to my newsletter at my website, amandamothab.com, and yeah, that's basically that, and be kept up to date on stuff and essays that I write about my feelings about playing games and things. So yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you, Amal. Always a pleasure. And we will see you here, of course, next week. Moving right on up the line. Yeah, poor Inga today really took it on the chin. First for some wolves, then took it on the chin with some shadow points. And Inga's really feeling it. And this has been one of those like slow build things that we've been talking about for months, that like, you know, Inga's shadow point total's getting a little rough. And that continues to grow and become a genuine concern, obviously, because if you get to a certain point, we're dealing with bouts of madness and all that stuff. So it's definitely something that the party is going to have to figure out how to prioritize one way or the other. And so far, the party's not doing anything wrong. I mean, it's just, the circumstances of what they're dealing with. So, but that said, I do think, Inga was able to, Inga's ability to sort of save Clifford in the first place is the reason that you got a lot of these advantage checks. So I think it did actually work in your favor, because otherwise, missing, if you miss some of the scouts, not scouting, but the tracking here, it would mean that you would lose a day, and that means another day during which you can get corruption. And so it's, it's one of those things where, Inga actually, I think, did end up doing something that benefited her in the long run, though in the meantime, she's still having to deal with these not very pleasant memories. How did you feel about today's session, Terry, and where will the fine folks find you next?
Well, I mean, as always, my dice rolls are cursed. Like, I'm personally cursed.
Yeah.
So that's just great. Maybe I'm just like failing my IRL skill checks to roll dice.
Sure, I'm sure that's what it is.
Because of too many IRL shadow points. Who knows? But yes, no, aside from that, this was fun. Obviously. I'm always really looking forward to the game. So that's... even though, like, I'm technically dreading next game, but, in a good way.
Yeah, it's the character dread, but the player
yes.
excitement, but the character dread.
Yes. Though, yeah, like, my player characters, they are my babies. And, like, seeing them get hurt is,
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah, no, I get it.
No, it is. So yeah. Aside from that, people can find me here next week. And other than that, people can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at TariToons. And also, for any Germans who might be watching, remember to go vote on Sunday. I think it's Sunday, right? Might be talking out of my ass here, but I think it's a Sunday. Getting a new government and a new chancellor after 16 years.
Wow,
so
yeah.
That's big.
It's a big change.
Yes, because Merkel is going into retirement. And oh my God, like this is like a big, like this can be a big turning point. Finally, to like, for example, get out of the fucking coal industry, which has been fucking up this country for way too fucking long. So yeah, please do that. And, like, nobody wants the fucking AfD to be in the government. So
I love
if you don't go vote, then like the asshole voters will get like more
someone
power,
will if you don't. That's right.
Yes.
I am very glad that you are having an election that looks like it will change things, as opposed to the election.
Your election just kept things the same. Yeah.
Which should not have been called, because it was called 2 years early.
Yeah, it's too early.
Don't jinx it, okay? Do not jinx it.
It
could just go horribly.
Yeah.
And like even if like one of the parties who like claim to be all about like like making things better gets into power, they could always still fuck it up. That's like the whole thing. Like all the parties we have here are like, yeah, of course we stand for all these great things that we want to make it. It's like, cool. Then they get elected and then they don't do shit. That's also a thing that happens a lot. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, go vote.
Go vote. It's a good call, and you will see Terry back here with us for more Adventures of Middle Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe the Entwives disappeared because they picked up too many shadow points while wandering the waste. Wow,
yeah,
that's brutal. Maybe that was that tree that you cut down was a former Entwife. Just kidding. But no, it's a pleasure to have Terry with us. Moving right along. Yeah, Brad. Bolo actually got some points kind of built up here too. A few points anyway. more than normal. And Bolo, I think, had multiple opportunities. I mean, obviously you did damage to the wolves there. The meal that you gave was important, and the ability, secondarily, the meals within the waste also have sort of compensated for working with nothing. I mean, you thought the battered mug was a problem, like trying to deal with like, have some maggots and weeds, and here's your raw ingredients, it's not been easy to manage that. So, but it is interesting to see what Bolo does as he's confronted with the waste for the first time, and the sort of effect that has, because certainly Bolo would have known the stories from Bilbo about wandering through the dragon, the desolation of the dragon, but seeing it up close and personal is a different thing, I think. How'd you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, it's I continue to be interested in seeing like Bolo's evolution, as a character, and this is something he hasn't come across before, and like just narratively, like the how his shadow points are being gained, and then the experience that he had underground, being miserable there and stuff. It's all creating this like arc for him that is I don't know where it's headed, but it's interesting seeing how that changes him. I had not played this particular role-playing game before starting with you guys, but I like Amal said, I'm very impressed by how many games are very concerned about the micro level events.
Yeah,
this one handles that decently, plus macro level events, like this, or even like I remember the roles we had for like a discussion, an audience.
The audience. Yep.
That type of thing, and so you're it's more than just the words. You're adding a little bit, about your character and their capabilities, into those things. So it's cool. It's a very well-rounded game. But yeah, it's interesting heading into this, desolate place. That really helps create a good ambiance, for the adventure. So yeah, looking forward to seeing where it goes. And for me, I don't have a lot coming up beyond the projects that I mentioned, and they're still a little bit of ways away, so I'll mention them closer to the time that they're coming up. But a new Shattered Sands novella and a book coming out in December, a new Decopunk novel. First foray into sci-fi in my novel length writing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I am excited to see it, and thank you, Brad, as always, and we will see you again back here for more of Bolo's shenanigans in the waste next week. And last but certainly not least, obviously, Tren, Tani got a chance to shine big time with the healing, which was absolutely necessary. Tani kept characters quite literally alive in certain cases, and without Tani, there needed to be a good amount of healing pumped into Cliff, or he would not have made it. And again, without Cliff, these checks would have been even harder. So everything kind of builds on everything else. You really needed to do what you did, and having those honey cakes to keep from having the exhaustion, which would have been on top of being miserable, on top of the shadow, that would have been really rough. So those honey cakes again are doing their work. And you also even managed to get some brain a couple of wolves while you were at it. So there was that. And we learned about the effect of brains on tanning, which I never knew existed. Yep. So it was a very eventful session for you. How'd you feel about today? Where would lovely folks find you next?
I would echo everything that everybody else said. It just, it is almost freakish how well the dice follow the narrative, and everything just comes together in a way that is really, really good. And part of it is the dice. Part of it is having, fantastic players who understand the concept of narrative and how to play with it and how to play with each other and where to offer each other hooks so that they can grab a hold of something and rebound off with, some aspect of their character and whatnot. And then maybe the DM might have some, I don't know. He's just some guy sits around reading stuff.
That's all I do.
fudging dice rolls and killing ponies. It's fun.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it was as always just a wonderful time. Really enjoyed it. I'm sure at some point we're going to run into those wolves again, and they're going to be like coming up with a bunch of goblins and stuff, and they're going to recognize us, and they're going to be like, we're not going to fight those guys. You guys can go ahead and do that. We're not. No, no, we remember those guys. That's not. But where will people see me next? Probably here. I mean, yes, here. But whether it's here on Saturday,
probably not, because I have an event, so probably not on Saturday. We will probably reconvene with Eberron next month, but next Tuesday certainly for Adventure Middle Earth.
Yeah. So here for that next week, and then the short story that I'm narrating for Pseudopod, I turned it in on the 1st, so it'll be up I think sometime next month. I'll let you know about that when it gets in closer, because I get to talk like a bunch of guys all the time and everything. That's gonna be fun.
Nice.
I think.
So speaking Sindarin, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. For sure.
Back to my roots.
This was, as always, lovely stuff. And thank you, everybody. I'm very excited for next week's session. I'm going to let you folks go. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing and awesome Antoinats, as we call them, this crew of Trendane Sparks, of Brad Bollier, of Terry Toons, and Amal Almatar. Everyone, thanks a lot. Have a good day. Get some rest and all that kind of good stuff as appropriate. And I will see you folks next week. Bye for now.
Bye.
That is going to do it for us. And I got to get on out of here because I'm going to be over at GOG in just about 5 minutes. I got to move here. Fortunately, we do not have any other kind of... we don't have, fortunately, any kind of other stuff to do other than to remind you very quickly, schedule-wise, that we are going to have we're going to have Talisman Adventures over on GOG and Pen and Pixels. That'll be coming up here in just a minute. And then tonight, back here at 9 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have the return of the Vocalists. They will be back here tonight doing some Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. So you will definitely want to make sure that you are here for that because it's always a lot of fun, and it'll definitely be a different tone than this sort of slog through the waste, so to speak. So this is good stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel. Check out the YouTube with !arvtube, Discord with !arvcord, Twitter with !arvtweets, website with arvanelaron.com. On the financial side, !arvshop is the merchandise area, !arvtreon is the Patreon, and of course subbing to the channel is always appreciated. Thanks to those of you who did that today. Thank you so much to Triffid for the 5 sub bomb earlier today, and also congratulations, Triffid, on that wonderful medical news. I'm so glad to hear it. Thank you. So glad. I'm sure you're super happy, and I'm super happy for you. So that's awesome. And if you like what you saw and heard as well, on the publishing side, Icarus for the Icarus graphic novel, library for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, and of course, Grayshade KS for my Grayshade Kickstarter. More details about that to come. And BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance of Black lives. And Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Thank you to the wonderful mods today, Arudinel, Dragonspear, Terry Toons, Triffity Mets. Thank you to my wonderful subscribers, Arudina and Patreon supporters, Arudinel, Dragonspear, Terry Toons, Triffity Mets, Echo Alpha X5, Effect Life, Amal Matar, Blackberry Bearer, Arenth, Garlic Tofu, Golden Drake, and Trendane. Thank you as well to my wonderful viewers, to Atham, Candy S, Delb, Delots, Erats, Flying Enemy, Gigafrost, Live Suing, LJ Card, Nonstop. Thank you to Ortholexi. Thank you to Odom Jim. Thank you to Roni Rosenthal, Spike Trap, Stygian Sticks, T-Bank, U Christensen, VNK, Zyphim, and of course, special thanks to my players, to Tren, to Terry, to Amal, and to Brad for great work today all the way around. That's it for me. I'll see you folks over at GogCom in just a few minutes for Talisman Adventure. Until then, everyone be good to each other, and I will catch you folks soon. Bye for now.